To Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick DelGozzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
What's up, family? Welcome in. Agree to Disagree, only on A2DRadio.com. We're also live from our own Real Talk studios. Hoping to come to you tonight with maybe an extension of not Brett Brown, but an extension to this series to maybe just a game 5, just for good times, right? Just to say, we get another game to watch since we waited 100+ days to finish this out. Well, guess what? We weren't delivered that present tonight, and now becomes what we all expected, and a lot of heads are going to roll, in my opinion, and we'll talk about it throughout the show. Tom Arnone, Greg Milakovic, Nick DelGozzo, Brian Wilson. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc, Make 'em Yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Crumb of the week at the end of the show. I mean, pick whoever you want off the Sixers roster, and outside of maybe Joel Embiid, and then anybody up top, on the bottom, some janitors. I mean, anybody you can find. Some guy who just does some numbers on the back end for you, whatever. You know, there's a lot of crumbs out there when we talked about sitting around for how many years, waiting for this moment, these years, and here we go, getting swept out of the first round. But on the positive.
Don't leave him off that list either. I know you're being a dad. Don't leave him off there. He's on there. JoJo, he's on there too. Fuck him.
I'm not saying he's not on there, but when you average what would he drop this series? 30? I mean,
he better.
This team's just bad. This team's
Daniel
just
Theis is guarding him.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying he was perfect in this series either. I mean, this was a bad team effort, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There wasn't
the pain enough.
There wasn't energy. There wasn't enough. And when you go up against somebody better than you, you have to then bring it to another level as a whole. And as a leader, you're part of that. You're part of it. You don't get excuses. When you get swept, nobody gets excuses. I thought he played exactly how I thought he would play in this series. Honestly, I didn't think it was better or worse than I thought he would play. It was right where I expected him to play. Just I thought he was solid, but you got to be dropping 40-something a night to overcome and take it to a whole nother level to overcome what you're up against in this series. Especially nobody on the team can make a shot, including him from the outside. Nobody on the team can make a shot from the outside. We'll get into all this. But on some positive news, Flyers, Islanders series preview tomorrow. We'll get into that tonight. You know, that's the only good sport in town right now. The only thing that we can be like, we got the Fly guys. We got a generational goaltender finally, and the Islanders are a good hockey team. So we'll dissect that series coming up a little later on in the show. Phillies versus Braves. We'll give you live reactions. Bottom one right now. And
sorry.
Oh, don't play ball. Roll talk. All right, good. Will's a little ahead of us here.
Sorry.
Big double play. Outs aren't easy to come from when you're the Phillies. You know, you don't know who you're getting them from. So everyone's a win. Sixers versus Celtics, game 4. We'll recap it, dissect it. Not even the game, the series, more so. And it all ties into our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Telling the boys from HUD Radio, saying it 20% off. The Sixers organization will look different next year. Agree or disagree? You know, let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live, and everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow. Get it off your chest tonight, peeps. You get yell and scream about it. Type it as fast as you can in the comments. Get it out tonight. Who do you want gone? You know, and don't stop. You know, enjoy yourself. When you name one, name 5 more with them. You know, enjoy yourself. Really, really dabble in who's going to be gone here next year, because I don't think it's just going to be one guy. What I want is an organizational change, because I don't think Elton Brand gets a free pass here one bit, because this is his roster he constructed right now too. So regardless how we felt about it coming into the year, it's still his roster. And if one dies on the sword, the other to me needs to die on the sword too. He gave him a contract extension 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So, or 2 years ago. So that factors into play too. You know, you made this guy your guy too. So to me, you're now joined at the hip. You're joined at the hip, and then you constructed a roster. And that's how it goes. So, I mean, I agree with the poll question. I think it's going to look different. Obviously, Brett Brown's gone. That's not even up for debate. Right now, the next debate becomes, is Elton Brand going with him? And to me, what has he done? Listen, he went all in for it last year. And that's fine. We were all on board for that. But when you go all in, you better bring back both. Or you better bring back the better of the two. You got to go, when you go into a situation like that, it isn't for a 1 year all in when you have two young superstars. It's to win over a period of time. So you better make sure that you're not coming out of it without both the guys you gave up assets for, right? I mean, you gave up Landry, you gave up Dario, and you gave up Rocco. And granted, we love what we got back for him as a combo, but you got to bring both back. This wasn't built on just bringing Tobias back. This was built on bringing both back. So I don't care. So if it comes down to, because if I'm Elton Brand, if it comes down to my job, and I know Jimmy won't sign if Brett's here, then guess who's moving? Guess who's moving then? You are. Because I can't. Then my job's on the line now as a general manager. And if I feel like this basketball team isn't as good now, and we're not going to compete for titles now, then I lost out on deals, which is going to make my resume look like shit. That's how this works at this level. So he's going to die on the sword with him then. And I'm not making Elton to be the main scapegoat, because Brett and the players have a lot to do with it too. Okay? But it all comes up top. Who constructed the roster? It's Elton Brand. You can say with Brett Brown too. Well, we know he's going. So if you let that guy have a say, you should go too. And if that guy was the reason that Jimmy Butler wasn't back here, then you need to go too. Okay? Because we see how soft this roster is. It is soft. Soft. And Ben Simmons doesn't change that. Just playing. Do we not get swept? Yeah, we don't get swept. We might win 2. Nobody can straight face say we win the series with Ben. You can't say straight face say it. You can't. It's just not fair to say. It's not fair to say.
Some of us none to do with the Celtics.
Listen, I just knew we had to play we're going to play somebody good.
Yeah, that wasn't a shot at you.
No. I'm just saying, like, I just didn't care who we were playing.
We were like, we need to get to the 4 or the 5, because it wanted nothing to do with the Celtics, healthy or not. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? They've always kicked our asses. They always, you know what I mean? Even though we should dominate in the middle, Brett always gets out coached, and then we hang around the perimeter and we do fucking nothing. All right, so it just wasn't the matchup for us. You know what I mean? And the Heat would have kicked the shit out of us too. You know what I mean? So our best shot would have been to play the Pacers if we wanted to get out of the first round. So
he would have kicked their ass too. And the problem is, I didn't want to get my ass kicked by them, because that even looks worse. So I just want, if I'm going to go out, then let the Celtics come kick my ass instead of the Heat, because the Heat just make it all worse. Then I got to live that. I got to die that death again. I got to relive that one. Jimmy walking out the door, then coming, and then he's going to kill us again. I can't. Please, I know. I mean, you felt about him from the second we traded for him. That we went out and got toughness. We went out and got some dog, right? And regardless on some things you might not like, he does, like, not you, but in general, people, like, whatever. You got a dog on the court, right? And you could win with that, with generational stars around him. You could win. And to let that guy just go because he wanted out because of different reasons, that's a joke for less money. He left for less money.
Because he didn't want to be here, though.
But Wills, he didn't want to be here because of the coach.
I don't even know if that's really the case, though.
How many times did he take a shot at the guy?
I know that he didn't get along with Brett. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I don't think he wanted to be the focal point of a team. He was not going to be that here. I don't think he was going to stay regardless.
Brett said that he didn't want to coach him. That's why they didn't bring him back. That was reported today too. That he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is.
Okay, true or not true. When there's smoke, there's fire. All I'm saying is that this was a complete mess up. It was a mistake, right? That's all the point of this conversation is. It's a mistake. So we're talking about changing what his organization.
You can't make dudes sign, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all. I hear you.
You can help it, though. You can help it. Well, how much more money's on the table here? Enough.
I mean, there is more. I agree.
Enough. It's not like other sports. Guys actually stay because they're going to get more half the time, and they don't even care where they're at. It's all set up to try to keep guys, not them go somewhere else. That's what it's set up to do. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. From step one, the deals were great. The deals were great to get that 2 years.
The kid just went yay.
Yes, and I agree.
Boomer.
Both of you are right. You know what I mean? You can't make a guy sign, all right? But before you pull the trigger, right, then you have to make sure a guy is going to re-sign, all right? So, you know what I mean? Before you make that deal, like, you know, you're like, hey, you talk to his agent, whatever, you guys, everybody get on the same page, and hey, listen, we're ready to pull the trigger here. Minnesota's in, we're in. All right, I need some confirmation here. Right, we're not going to waste a couple. You know, how do we feel about Rocco or whatever? And we love Dario. All right, but we can't give away pieces, you know, for nothing. You know what I mean? And that's exactly why we had to sign Harris, or we had no choice. You know what I mean? So the money is what's driving people crazy, but that's just the way the NBA is. The NBA is playing with monopoly money. You know what I mean? So we didn't really have, Elton didn't have a choice there. You know what I mean? You know, you couldn't lose them both. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, you had to sign Tobias. We kind of got handcuffed into Tobias.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the worst part of it. I'm not even going to say the Jimmy Butler thing just because I understand where you're coming from, Tom, and I agree with you. But if the dude doesn't want to play, you can't just make him.
My whole point was I was getting to
Tobias. What kind of fucked us with Jimmy going is that it kind of made us have to sign Tobias. Like, even if we didn't want to, really, we had to.
Yeah, because you can't give up all that stuff and not have.
And just let them both walk. You can't do that. You can't do it.
And I'm not going to be in the camp like, oh, don't make them moves. I'm in the camp to make them moves. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm also in the camp of what Sweep said, and I said it. I think I might have said it to somebody before. I don't remember, not on the show, but like just in text, I was thinking the same thing. Like, you got to make sure you can. It's almost a sign and trade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to lock him up for this trade to go through. If he's willing to accept the max money here to come here and be here, then we're ready to go. We're ready to pull it. If not, then I gotta say, all right, well, I got Tobias, now I got Rocco and Dario, and I'm gonna have to try to win with that, right? For right now. And we would have been okay. You know what I'm saying? We would have been okay. But so it comes down to, all my point is, if Brett's going, and Brett's going because his tenure has been too long, it's time to go, right? It just happens in sports. And they didn't get the job done. So, secondly, if he's going, well, now the guy who constructed a roster just got swept in the first round. Ugly. I mean, you got to go too, because how do I trust you to make the next coaching search?
Yeah, he ain't going to be gone, though, I don't think, Tommy.
I don't think so. That's what I'm petitioning.
I think Brand will be back.
That's what I'm petitioning.
I mean, obviously, Brett has to be fired, and he will be fired.
Yeah, and that's your first step. I mean, you do that, you get a little bit of stink off you. You know what I mean? Because, like you said before, you did take a shot last year. You know what I mean? So I think anybody can appreciate that. You took a shot last year. We're always asked for, hey, our teams to take a shot. Let's take a shot. You know what I mean? It didn't work out last year. You know what I mean? So. We would have liked to be able to retain, Jimmy and all that good stuff. I get it, you know what I mean? But his first, and anybody that says, that Horford thing, it's easy to say now because who the hell knew he was going to be an absolute fucking albatross? He's fucking terrible, right? But nobody knew that. Last summer we were all excited. We're like, hey, we got Al. You know what I mean? Who cares about the money? It's not our money. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to kill him for that. You know what I mean? I kill the player or Brett. You know what I mean? It's like, either you didn't fit in your system, you didn't know how to use them, whatever it was, or Al just got so old that he was absolute horseshit in 1 year. That's what you're telling me.
13 months.
13 months. He got that. He became absolute horseshit. Like, I find that hard to believe. You know what I mean? But if not, that's our luck, in Philadelphia. So, you know what I mean? But, so if he's back, it's not the end of the world for me, but Brett's got to be gone. I'm tired of looking at that. That's the way it goes. It is what it is. You got to start fresh and see if we get a different voice in there. Now, as far as, you saw, and I'm not going to kill those two guys, all right, but there might be in a category of being just in the top 25. Right? Because you saw a superstar today. That's what superstars do. Superstars do superstar things. And you saw Sweeps get excited, and that's what they do. Right? I don't care about numbers. I don't care about that thing. I want you to win games and find a way to get into playoffs and do those kind of great things, right? Not regular season great things or, that's superstars do what superstars did today, right? And that's, so I don't know if I'm ready to.
Luka.
I'm not ready to put them in that category yet. And that's, I mean, you would say, you're bitter. You're bitter. Right? Maybe I'm bitter. I don't care. All right. I'm tired of the fucking narrative. All right. I want to see some results. Right. All right. And it starts with staying healthy, staying on the goddamn court, and then finding a way. All right. There's no way. That's what I said. Like, I'm not giving Joe a pass. He falls in the crumb category. Right. So, you could do more. Right? You got to do more. He's part of the possession. Last night, you're down 2-0. Game 3 is very pivotal. All right, nobody's saying we're going to win the series, but he's got his hands in those last 3 possessions. He's a part of all 3 of those possessions. That is, you know what I mean? Not put it just at his feet.
Terrible cross-court pass. What are you doing?
Absolutely. But he's got his hands on those last 3 possessions, and they're fucking JV fucking level execution. Awful.
No, absolutely. Hey, listen, he didn't. Nobody played well. You get swept. You get swept. Nobody played well. He played exactly like I thought he was going to play. And like I said, that's not great nor bad. Like I just thought that's the numbers he usually puts up against Boston. He's right around. I think he's averaged against Boston 31 points a game over his career. He's just always in that area. And in a series like this, you need him dropping 45. You need him dropping 40. I can't from a Joe guy. I can't run from that. Nor will I run from that. So all right. We didn't get it done. Now I need somebody.
You don't even need him dropping 45, though, Tom. You need him to make the plays down the stretch when the game's in winning time. That's what you need.
I understand.
I don't care if he has 12 points.
Yeah,
you need to not turn the ball over 3 times in a row in the fucking final minute, which we've done back-to-back postseasons now.
Absolutely.
3 straight postseasons now.
Listen, he's always had an issue turning the basketball over. So this is what this was my next point, though. Now, before I see articles, can Ben or Joe play together? I need another voice now. Before I'm going to run and say I'm done with these 2, I need now to see now. Bring in another voice. Bring in a motivator. Bring in a guy with a little fire, right? A guy who's not going to take no BS. That's what you have to bring in now. He can be a great players coach too, but he needs to be able to get up in. Right? You can be the greatest player coach in the world, but hold accountability at the end of the day is bigger than anything. And if you can't go in front of a microphone and hold yourself and players accountable, then you're not good enough for this job at any level, better yet at this level. And I've never heard accountability from Brett Brown's mouth over the last 2 postseasons. I heard zero accountability. The players to himself. And to me, that's where I'm now drew the line completely. I'm already out. He needs to get fired. But you understand my point. Like, I got to go up there in game 3. I got to get teed up in the second quarter there because I see the energy shifting. You haven't got teed up your whole career, I feel like. Perfect time. Your job's on the line. I'm not just an advocate to get teed up. I'm saying your job is on the line. So if you're ever going to fight, this would be the time for you to fight. It's a horrible call on Kemba. The foul call at the end of the half, and you see the momentum shifting already. Perfect time, right? Throw something. Just make his point, right? And then maybe you come out in the second half, and there's a little fire from your roster and your basketball team. That's what everybody just wants to take away. It can't be all rainbows and sunshine all the time. At some point, when you're not winning or not playing well, it's not about winning. It's about competing. And this basketball team stopped competing. They stopped competing. And at the end of the day, that goes from you and the guy right above you. That really starts with him, and then it goes right up top to the roster construction.
Yeah. He got one today, but he was like a tiptoe. He tiptoed. He was just mouthing off a little bit, but it wasn't animated. Like I would have threw a chair. You know what I mean? Kemba clearly pushed off. You know what I mean? It was an offensive foul, and they missed it. And he got a tee, but it wasn't. It wasn't anything where you can get your team fired up or showing you got there. You know what I mean? Anything like that. It was just it was a quiet tee. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna get a tee, I like my guys to get a tee. I want everybody in the goddamn tri-state area to know you got a tee. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like, I don't need church mouse tees. I need fucking egregious tees.
Bobby Knight tees.
Yeah, I mean, I need a borderline like, hey, I might double tee you. All right, go ahead, asshole. He knew it was his last game. Probably why he didn't get a double tee. Down 3-0, knowing it's your last game, he's like, hey, I better see this out because if I get a double tee, I'm out of it.
Time. That's the perfect time.
I understand. I'm just saying.
I was more talking game 3, just get teed up. You know what I mean?
He puts the thing on the way out.
I didn't know he got teed up today with a softie. I didn't know he got a softie.
They were throwing tees out all over the place.
Softy's even worse because now you're just costing us points and you're not even getting anybody fired up. It's a fucking useless tee. Congratulations, Brett.
Yeah, Josh had one. Toby had one. They were throwing tees all over the place.
Toby hit the floor hard too.
Jason, can we talk about Shake Milton? Yeah, we can talk about how he stinks.
Yeah, he's terrible.
All right.
Shake Milton don't belong on the floor. That's just fact.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does. Well, last 30 seconds of a game, maybe 15. Just so like hey, maybe we can get him a shot off. And the crowd goes crazy.
You talking about walk-on? You talking about
he's a walk-on. He's a walk-on.
You talking about walk-on minutes?
Is he a senior, like a grad senior?
It's here.
Great kid, works hard.
Great practice guy.
Bill Self up 55, and he puts the kid in with 30 seconds left. Bill, you weren't going to lose the lead. Can you put him in with 3 minutes? I know that. I know the 30-second put in. I got it on my exit interview. I say, Bill Self, I know I'm horse shit, Bill. All right, but give me 2 minutes. We're up 55.
Can I get 3 possessions, Bill? Can I get 3 possessions?
Fucking tomato can soup. You give me 30 seconds? I'm here every day getting killed.
I'm your punching bag in practice daily.
Stop. Get out of here. Get out of here.
No one gives high fives like me.
Oh, my God. You want water? Hey, you want water or Gatorade?
I'm the first one off the bench.
4 years I've been doing. You want water or Gatorade? You know what I mean? I let JoJo dunk on me in practice. Come on.
Unreal.
Don't worry. 55-point leads aren't. We're not built for them. One, if we ever got it, we would probably blow it somehow. And 2, we never get big leads. And when we never have, I feel like over this little tenure, that thing's got to race real quick in the second half.
Yeah, I mean
every time.
That kind of leads only. That's not safe with the Phillies bullpen. That's about it.
Yeah, that might not even be. Not at this rate.
You thought 7 runs in a 7-inning game was safe.
Wow. It was a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week.
It's been a fucking hell of a week. It's been an even worse month and a shittier year.
Yeah. You ain't kidding.
Fucking A.
The fucking awful buffet.
Yeah. Just it's constantly getting punched in the face, and then you still go back the next day like, yeah, hit me again. Fuck it. Yeah, sure. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm just like watching an episode of Fear Factor. Eat these hissing cockroaches and eat the asshole out of this fucking skunk here. for 50K? No thanks.
Skunk asshole is where I draw the line. So.
I agree with you. I don't need any of that shit. Hooray!
All right, so you guys agree to it. The Sixers organization will look different next season, or just Brett?
I think it's just Brett, to be honest with you. I don't think Elton's gone. They're going to have to try to do something with the roster. I don't know. I don't think you can do you just hope that maybe Al under a different coach will be back to old Al? Because I don't even think you can get rid of him. How are you going to get somebody to take his contract? I don't fucking know.
Who wants that?
Nobody wants that.
I mean, if you have eyes, you don't want it. I mean, there's probably some jabrones out there that would take it. There's probably some idiots out there you could probably finagle. But
if you throw a first-round pick to him or something, like to take his contract.
Elton to find that idiot, right? You know what I mean? Like, you look at, just real quick, you look at, the Boston deal with the Red Sox. Like, what did Boston know that over on Matt Klentak to make that deal? Right? Like, what do they know about Nick Pivetta? They're going to turn him into the Cy Young stud that everyone thought he was going to be.
Nah, they don't care about Pivetta. They wanted Seabold.
You know?
He could be a decent pitcher.
But I don't trust Elton. I think it's just Brett. I think it's Brett, actually, and they're going to find a way to get rid of Al. Because Al and Embiid just don't play well. And I just don't know, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. And who knows if a new coach is going to fix that. Because when Al played well today, it was without Joel, and he was able to be down the block.
I'm tired of hearing
and bully that, right? And
I don't even want to hear his name anymore.
I don't want to hear him either. So
yeah.
It's Al gone, and I can only hope it's Elton, but I don't think so.
I don't think it's going to be Elton. I also am curious to see other moves they try to make. How about this one? Who is the coach you're targeting? To me, I have one guy on my. I have 3 guys, but the number one is can you get Jay Wright? That's what I want to know. Can you get him? And I think you can if you want to.
Yeah, but is that the
That's who I want.
Okay, I mean, I'm trying to ask you a question right now. Is that the accountability guy walking in the door? Does he walk in on an NBA level and able to hold guys accountable. Because that's been the whole issue, supposedly. I mean, Josh Richardson stinks today, but the whole reason is all accountability. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm just saying, you stunk the whole damn series, but it's accountability. So, okay, I need
Josh Richardson might have to be gone, too, because he's
just making a point. So then we need accountability. Can Jay Wright come in here and hold guys accountable at the NBA level?
I think so, and I think he also he's a damn good coach, and he's a good players coach, and he's a great XO coach. Runs great plays, all huge. I mean, maybe the biggest play in history, the fucking 3 to win it. But I mean, great. We haven't run a fucking play down the stretch of a game, and God knows how long. That's probably why we turn the ball over constantly down the stretch of games, because we don't run any fucking plays. Just give me. I would love Jay Wright. That's all I'm saying. And there's other guys I like, but Jay Wright's top of my list.
The old trailer 3-pointer. I'm a big fan of that.
Big fan of that.
Trailer.
Big fan.
Sometimes it's not.
I like Jay Wright. I mean, I understand what Tommy's saying as well. Who the heck knows? I mean, some guys have it wherever they go. You know what I mean? So is he one of those guys? A lot of these college studs, you know, it just doesn't fit in the NBA. So, you know, I mean, you know, I don't know, but
I agree.
I mean, you have to look. You might be able to count on your hand, brother. I mean, and I don't even know, you know, who they are.
There's a lot that have worked though, too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You might be able to count them on your hand, so I'm going to need you to, you know, to maybe rattle some off there for me.
Well, Brad Stevens, the one guy that just beat us.
Absolutely.
The guy that just beat us.
Absolutely.
But there's other, if you go back, that like started as college coaches, like Larry Brown, and you know, guys that started in college, came to the NBA, and had success both places. But
I would love him, but I don't know if we're able to get him. I don't know if we want to leave there. And there's them factors.
Yeah,
I think it's going to
Spills, you absolutely can get Jay Wright.
All I'm saying
It's will he want to leave, but you can pay him fucking double when he gets paid in Villanova. You can fucking get him.
Sometimes it's the unsexy name that really gets you to where you want to get to, though. Sometimes it's an assistant coach somewhere, you know.
Well, who do you like? That's what I'm asking you.
I mean, now I got to go diving through benches. You know what I mean?
Apparently, a lot of people think that we really like Sam Cassell.
I would love Sammy.
I like Sam. I like the way that Sam Cassell played. So
Jason Kidd. I mean, come on.
I would love Kidd. I would love Cassell. I want a former player almost. I feel like a former player may be able to hold a little more stock than a guy from a guy from Boston. You know what I mean? No disrespect. I just think maybe at this point a former player may be able to hold guys accountable, because that's what we're hearing more. And we've heard that for 5 years about accountability from some. So, you know what I mean? At some point now I'm going to need an accountability guy in the gym daily, right? Because now you might not want to play here. That's how much accountability is going to be tossed around. If I took the job, after I hear all about accountability, you're going to want me going in a year, because it's going to be too much accountability. We're going to be accountability. It's going to be accountability merry-go-round. It's constant accountability.
And you look, and if you look at Boston, because I'm with Wills, the reason why sometimes it really doesn't work is because you have those big egos and those absolute monsters that the veteran guys that don't want to buy into it. Boston's been young for years, right? I mean, they got young studs that it's almost like, you know, coaching college, where they're buying into them. You know what I mean? So, that's a problem.
Well, Boston's a fucking phenomenally run organization up there.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'm saying most of these guys come in, there will be the puppet. You know what I mean? Like if you were coming in, you know, with an absolute, let's say like a guy like LeBron, like he's gonna call, you know, he's gonna pull the strings and stuff like that, unless you have the room. You know what I mean? And, you know, Frank Vogel, they had to get him in there. You know, that's a veteran guy.
Reese! My kid just went away.
I don't know where Sam is. I haven't seen Sam. I don't see too many pictures of Sam on the bench. You know what I mean? Where is Sam at?
I have no idea where he is. I don't even know.
We'll pick him up. It don't matter.
I saw that one dude, the one NBA fucking dude on Twitter after the game said top, like,
he might be with the Rockets.
Top candidates.
He might be with the Rockets.
He had Sam Cassell as the top candidate for a Sixers job.
He might be with
Clippers.
Clippers.
There you go.
I would take Sammy in a heartbeat. We need to scoop him. I mean, you tell me what we got to do. Because, I mean, I'll take any I like former player being in the system right now. Like, I was going to say Kidd was the first thing that came to my head. But I really like Sam Cassell, too, because, you know, I just believe in that at this point for these guys. It's been too long of, come sit on my lap. You know what I mean? It's been too long. Let me pat you on the back. Everything's gonna be okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's just been too much.
It's okay, sweetie. It's all right, sweetie.
Too much. Yeah, just too much kumbaya when I'm getting my doors blown off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool. Losing's losing, right? When I'm getting doors blown off in game 3, or game 2, whatever. I feel like we got doors blown off so many different times. I can't even tell. But whatever. Throughout some of these games, things are getting thrown because now my job's on the line. So people are going to know that I'm not happy that my job's on the line. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to that, like, I don't even care if you want to get fired up. But now it's going to be accountability city. Like, throughout this whole series would have been game 1. I'm going to start, you know what I mean? Ding, 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 ding. And it never is. It just never is. Like, the stuff that we can sit home and say, man, this guy didn't show up tonight. We're all watching it. This guy comes out and says, well, the energy and effort was, I can't criticize it. You what? It was a few possessions. You got beat by 28. What do we talk about? Few possessions, you like that back. I need
lose by 18?
I need 3 quarters back. That's what I need back. Exactly. Yeah,
I mean,
few possessions.
You see, he felt the crowd kept him in the one game. He felt like the crowd kept him in the one game. So, you know that.
Yeah. Was that a joke? I thought that was a joke. I really did. I laughed at it. I was like, oh, Brett made a joke. If he was being serious, it's even worse. It's even worse.
Oh, it is. Palataro, he mean Reggie Miller. I don't know. I mean, what coaching?
Reggie's got a kind of a good gig going.
Yeah,
to leave it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thought with Jay Wright. I agree. I like Jay Wright. If I'm Jay Wright, why do I leave Villanova? Right? I got the cushiest job in the world.
Money.
Why would I leave to come into the NBA?
Money, Greg. That's why.
No, he's making $3 million a year already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he can make 30 probably if he wanted. They probably wouldn't be.
Why
30,
deal with that, right? Yeah, you can recruit everybody that you want to coach as opposed to who Elton Brand puts in your lap. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, I understand. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
I'm sure I'll have some input if he's the coach.
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's the only thing is if you want
the difference between college and NBA, right? You can
I just think
your guys versus.
I just think the difference is that sometimes you have to deal with bigger egos. Can you handle dealing to deal with the bigger egos of a guy that's you're coaching millionaires as opposed to coaching students?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that he can get it done. I think he would be a great hire. Like you said, does he want to leave Villanova? If he doesn't want to leave, I would sell him on, hey, you've got the job done there. Don't you want to come and prove that how good of a coach you really are on the biggest stage?
Right.
I'd throw some shit like that at him, and then a shitload of money, obvioally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just start with the briefcase. You know what I mean?
Well, I'd walk in with the case. I'd have it like handcuffed to my wrist.
A handcuff.
Make sure it's important.
Obviously,
pull the thing out of like my unlock it.
Whoever said Reggie Miller, I love that. But I mean, like you said, like you see that more like in baseball where a guy comes out of a booth or something, like Aaron Boone or somebody like that. You don't really wouldn't see it in the NBA, but I mean, love me some Reggie. I mean, he'll bring some toughness. You know what I mean?
I would just look at I like Jason Kidd as well. I look at I look at what Jason Kidd can translate, say, to Ben, right? A guard who came into the NBA with great handle, great passing, but couldn't shoot, and then turned himself into at least a willing shooter. Not a great shooter, but a willing shooter, and knowing that he had to shoot.
Top 5 3-point makes of all time.
Yeah.
Is that what he ended up?
Yeah, top 5. And dude couldn't shoot at all when he came.
Couldn't shoot a lick.
Couldn't shoot
and
at
maybe
all.
That translates to Ben, right? I look at Jay Wright, though, too. What does he coach well? Guards, right? That's what they do well at Villanova. They coach guards. Where's our weakest point right now? Even with Ben Simmons, is guards, right? So I want to leave Sam Cassell. Great, let's go. Bring Sam Cassell in. Like I want a guard-oriented coach because if we have Joe, we know down low's handled. We just need him to get to the ball. We need to get the ball to him. I'm sorry.
Well, I think the bigger thing is the whole league. The point guard and the 2 guard can score. The whole league you go through backcourts, guys dropping 20 a night. The entire league, but our backcourt. It's truly amazing. Like I don't understand. Like the whole league, there's guys. He says everybody's getting buckets. And then when you watch our games, you're like, does anybody score on the perimeter? Right? Like it's almost harder to go through with like Josh Richardson didn't have a point until late in the 4th today when he hit a 3. So it's like, wait, it's harder to do that. It's what I mean. It's harder to do that than be in double digits.
Now you guys you guys might not be on board at all, but you're at least on board for, I mean, not at least, I mean, you very well might not be, but let's just say that, at least one more with a new voice, those two get a chance, to stay healthy and play at least one more season, together before
Joe and Ben, you're saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I changed the coach before I was in.
No. I know that. That's step number one. You know what I mean? But then after that is like, hey, let's see what happens next year with a new coach, and they can both stay healthy. But if we go through the same thing, that's the definition of insanity. If we go through it another year, all right, and now do we try to move one of them and try to get three very, very, very good players back? You know what I mean? Where now we get a 3-for-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean they get time. They need to do.
Yeah, I understand. I'm on board with that. I'm saying, but like one more year for me at least.
Yeah, at least. I'm right with you because I just need to see if somebody else can do, right? Like, see if it was all the coach, which we think a ton of it is, or if we think, and obviously being on the court is a factor in this from them too. So, I mean, it's a combo. This isn't just all, over the last 3 years, it isn't all just Brett Brown, and it never truly is, but enough of it is. You know what I mean? Enough is. But these two haven't been on the court together enough at big times, and when they have been, listen, we haven't got it done. We haven't got it done. So they need to take a big step forward with a new coach too, and then we can have the conversation like that. I believe they can always play together. I never have an issue with that. Like some people say, you know what I mean? And I already seen articles today saying, should the Sixers break up Ben and Joe? No, like the conversation we're having right now. No, you get rid of Brett, and then you give it a year with them at least, and then you figure out the direction you want to go. Did the new voice work, or didn't the new voice work? And you're able to find that out pretty quick. One, if they're on the court, you're going to find out real fast. I mean, I can't give up on either one of them yet. And I'm not saying anybody here thinks that. I'm just telling the family out there. 'Cause I know people are already giving up on them. I'm not ready to yet, right? Either one yet on playing together or giving up on them as a player.
You don't give up on 23 and 25-year-old?
Yeah. He brings up a great point in the chat that Jason Kidd started with Giannis when Giannis started trending upwards too. So, he's obviously not just a good guard guy either. He can he can handle a team. So that's pretty nice right there to think about.
Yeah, it wasn't like at least from my point of view, it's not like about giving up on on two pimps. It's just about like round hole, square peg. You know what I mean? Is that where we're at? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. You know what I mean? But it starts with Pink Slip Monday, right? Tomorrow's Pink Slip Monday, and then we go from there and see who that new guy is and see where we go from there. You know what I mean? But we can all agree that, whether it's injuries or not, we're tired of looking at it. We're tired of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, we talked about last week, we said, you said, hey, how excited are you? I'm always at 10, right? Because it's playoff time. You know what I mean? And it's Sixers basketball. Let's go. I'm in front of the TV. I'm watching. Even down 3-0 today, I said, I'm still watching. I
fell asleep, but I watched.
It's what we do. You know what I mean? So, we weren't optimistic about this series. We're not idiots. We knew we were. I mean, even with Ben, we didn't think we were probably going to get it done. But it just it runs its course a little bit here. You know what I mean? So let's just hope next year's it's different and there's some changing and we're just not doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, no way you're going to find out it's changing the coach and seeing, or it's just guessing. But I don't think that there's. I don't think them two can't play with each other, or giving up on anybody. I just know people out there already have. There's people in the chat that are listening that, and I've seen enough posts that they're giving up on one of the two at some point over the last year, and they're still there. You know what I mean? And that's not where I'm at yet. Is really where I'm going with it. Is I'm just not there yet. I always want to see a new coach, a new voice. Can it resonate? Can a new voice resonate with these guys and get them going? And I think if it gets them going, it keeps them on the court too. I don't know. Something about being engaged keeps you on the court too.
Sure,
absolutely.
And he does a lot of special things. But you cannot be a guard in today's NBA and not be able to shoot. And that's just reality. You know what I mean? And like I said, does a lot of other special things. But you see how the end of the game ended today, and how the end of the game ends around the league a lot. You know what I mean? Like if the ball is going to be in your hands, you got to be a triple threat guy. You know what I mean?
The whole league is. I got centers that are triple threats. You know what I mean? Around the league, I got power forwards that are triple threats. The whole league is. You know, from the center all the way down. You know what I mean? And I got a guard. You know that will show me what he's capable of in essential, social media videos that I see. But when it comes to game time, never has trusted it. Like you talk about early on this year, he hit the 3 against the Knicks for feeling great. I'm like, and I look at us today. You know what I mean? Like how fast time goes, and how it can go from like us really have high expectations for not only a player, a city, a team, right? And then what ended here today, and that's obviously Ben's not on the court, so I can't blame him. But I can blame him for not being on the court, I guess. I mean, because that's a trend, right? That's becoming a trend. The only player in NBA history to be hurt twice for the year in the same year. I mean, it's got to be. That's just us. That's just us as a nutshell. Since this process has started, it's amazing, and we just can't get away from it. It's like a stigma. That's why I need more things just cleaned out and cleansed. And Brett's one of the processors, so I'm gonna need a cleanse. I'm gonna need a cleanser and get you out, and then let's see if we can get rid of some of the bad processed juju, maybe, and actually have them on the court both. It'd be glorious to have them both for 82. I mean, that'd be phenomenal. But I'll take 75 apiece and healthy in the playoffs. I'll even take 70 a pop, healthy playoffs. But I feel like I can't even trust that. I can't even trust that. Like I can maybe trust a 70 piece, and then I'm getting in the playoffs, and boom, you know what I mean? There's a nick. There's a hand. There's a whatever, broken orbital. I feel like at this point, like anything possible can happen. I mean, fracturing backs. We got players fracturing backs. Like, what did I get a car accident, or did he do it on the basketball court? How did he fracture his back? Was it a car accident? It's just unbelievable. We can't get away from it. So, hopefully that's the first step to this organizational change. I mean, if we give out more time, I mean, I'm not like fully against it, but how much do I trust him in this hire? And then if it is like he's got a short leash, then with this hire, not with maybe the hire, but himself, you know what I mean? Then he's on a short leash. So I don't know. I don't respect Joshua Harris. Yeah, I don't respect anything up top there.
There's not much that Elton has done so far that allows me to think and trust him, as you said, right? There's not much. I mean, obviously we went for it last year, but then when you went for it and we didn't get it, and then that's turned into this year. So far, all the moves you've made haven't worked out. That's just what it is. And then you're to your point earlier this week, Tommy, you're the guy that gave Brett the extension. You led to all this other stuff, and then here where we are, right? You got rid of Fultz, whether it was too early or not. You just didn't get anything back, and then obviously you didn't sign. Jimmy didn't want to be here, and you didn't sign Jimmy, and then obviously this is where we led off to this year. But it was funny. He was there, and he walked off the court like 30 seconds before the game ended. I guess he was trying to get a beat on traffic, leaving the Wells Fargo Center tonight after the sweep.
Well, the fans are going to be ruthless when he gets to the parking lot, so get out of there. I mean, listen, it's a combo of things, it all started back in that draft. I mean, that draft was the turning point on the process. You walk out of that draft, Markelle Fultz, right or wrong. I mean, I was telling buddy the other day, I'm like, man, I went back and just watched Fultz in college again, just because I feel like did my eyes really lie to me that much? Like, I thought this guy could score at any level, like just because he had a natural knack that's getting to the bucket, right? And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it us? Like, if I look back at both of them in college, like I was higher. I think a lot of people were higher on Fultz than Tatum. And I was one. Like, I was cool. Like, Markelle Fultz was a guy who could score 30 a night. That's what I wanted at the time. Tatum at Duke wasn't that guy yet to me. He was still raw a little bit. And credit to him. I mean, he turned himself into, right now you can say top 10 player. Easy, right? I mean, easy. So, I mean, that's what he turned himself into. So,
top 20.
I mean, right now, the way he played in this series, I gotta go top 10. I mean, granted, he played off.
There's a lot of guys in the league.
I understand. Whatever. You understand my point.
I know.
You understand my point. Wherever you want to rank him, I'm just saying he turned himself into that. While we have nothing back in that that draft. That's the problem. We have nothing to show for that draft. But a 21st pick like next year or this year we have 21.
This year.
What they do?
They're only pick in the first round. Yeah,
the worst draft
who
ever.
cares?
In the worst draft of all time anyway. And I don't care if it's the greatest draft of all time. 21 probably isn't going to hit. We ain't going to hit it. So guess what? At the end of the day, it all started that day. And when you get Jonathan Simmons, you can't even get DJ Augustine. Like I can't wait for DJ Augustine. I get Jonathan Simmons. So it's it's the guy who made the deal too. I mean, it's the guy who's running the ship. That because I don't know, does he want to put his handprint on it? We all realize that the Fultz thing was wearing us all thin. Fair as a fan base, but you can't. You start making decisions as fan base for the fan base. You know that common theme. You end up sitting with them, right? So I'm not saying that was a. I'm just saying not about dealing them. I have no problem when you get at the time dealing them. But what do you have to do? You have to actually get stuff back. You actually have to get stuff back. Philly stink. I'm not even going to shake my head. You actually have to get stuff back. You can't get nothing back but Jonathan freaking Simmons when they got a whole roster of guards who can score. A whole roster of guards who can score. And you get me Jonathan Simmons. You got to go now. You needed to go that day, honestly, because the deal was bad. But the deal just shows its true color down the road sometimes, right? And not about Fultz. This is about what you got back. It has nothing to do with Markelle Fultz. I believe his time here was up too. But you got to get something. Something, and not just a 21st, not protected picks. He's number one pick in the draft 2 years before that. You can't get nothing.
I blame Markelle Fultz more than anything.
I do, but I got it.
Because number one, he's a pussy. And number two, he's a fucking pussy. I fucking hate Markelle Fultz.
Agree.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate his face. I hate his haircut. I hate his bad complexion. I fucking hate him.
I'm right with you. Absolutely. Well said.
Hate him. He can fall off a fucking bridge in Orlando tomorrow and get eaten by a shark, and I cheer.
I hope you're not saying that.
It's really tough to get eaten by a shark.
I hope you're not.
There's no ocean there, but.
Some people would say that's a mean statement, and it doesn't have much substance to it.
It is a fucking mean statement. I hate it.
I love that. I would say that's a fantastic statement, and it had tremendous depth to it. Right? But I'm with you. And then even before that, you go whatever. What is it? Was it 2 years before that with Okafor? Again, there's another guy.
Another one I hate.
Talk about top three picks, right? That they're not even here anymore. There's nothing.
Me and Tommy were missed on that one. I'll tell you that.
And you're Trevor Booker out of that one. Trevor Booker was the guy you got out of that one.
No, I mean the list of what you like. Listen, you forget Okafor at the time because after we traded him, I mean at that time they weren't getting anything. Markelle Fultz at the time was still young enough, in my opinion, and you know what I mean. And even though you had the issues, you can't just get nothing just to get rid of it.
You took him first overall.
Then you say
you gotta get something.
Then you say
Jonathan
you didn't hear that.
Then you just sit here. Than Shake Milton.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna need you to sit here, then, Markelle. You can't get it right, then just sit. That's fine. Just sit here. You're not gonna play. Just sit here, then, because I'm not getting nothing. Yeah. I'm not getting nothing back. You can sit your ass right here, then.
And it's about who you danced with too. You know what I mean? Like it was between them and the Spurs. You know what I mean? And I would trust the Spurs more. You came from there, Brett. You know what I mean? You fell out of the damn tree. You assumed that they do a pretty good job developing guys. And I'm not saying who we had a choice of getting. I have no idea. But I'm gonna take my chance there before I go to Orlando. If you're not going to give me Fournier or any of those guys, you know what I mean? If you're just going to give me a tomato can, then I'm going to try everything I can with the Spurs. You know what I mean?
I can't get Terrence Ross in a little instant offense.
I'll spit in your face. I'll spit in somebody's face when they talk protected picks with me. I'll spit in your face. Protected. It means nothing. You might as well give me a second rounder. Okay, with your protected bullshit. I want then unprotected. That's fine. If it ends up being 21, it ends up being 21. But I can't get protected. Give me protected. Are you kidding me out and protected? No. There's no more pick in the draft. Okay? I don't care that you didn't pick them. I don't care that you didn't pick them. You dealing them still has an impact on your tenure. What you get back still has an impact on your roster moving forward. When you don't guard on this roster who can score. And a guard on this roster who can score. And I'm not saying I'm good with Fultz being gone. Like I said a million times. It ran its course here with me. But you got to get stuff back. That's the whole point of the argument I was making. Is you just got to get something back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that whole roster is full with guards who can shoot it, and nobody on our roster can shoot it.
It's a fucking strike, dude.
I don't talk about umpires.
This umpire fucking stinks right now. Too.
I don't got the time.
And Spells, I see Spells. What up, Spells? Fucking Spells had us winning in 5. Didn't go as you thought. But I will say, Spells, I love legs. I would bring legs in a second. Big legs guy.
You're also a big legs guy, and I'm a Timmy legs guy. Look old real quick on TV, but ton of makeup, which I'm not a fan. Like slow it down. Like then I'm not sure. Like that's a little too much makeup on TV. Timmy, I love you. Yeah, they're not.
Are you kidding me, Thomas Arnone? If we were on TV, you'd be in the makeup chair for 40
minutes. I got great complexion, honey. Don't you start.
You'd hit 3 Lelands in the makeup chair, dude.
Don't matter. Look at the complexion. It's phenomenal. Don't you complexion me? All right.
Get out of my head, because I knew there was something I wanted to talk to you guys about the other night, and that was it. He looked like a goddamn Barbie doll. What the fuck was it? I mean, he looked like Tammy Faye Baker. It was unbelievable. I know. Nobody thought. Oh, that was it. Yeah, I know. But love me some legs. Yeah, that was not good the other night.
I went to look, if you're trying to get a coaching job. I mean, that's a lot of heat when you walk in the locker room.
I went to a legs basketball camp when after he left LaSalle when I was a kid.
There you go.
Hey, gotta get front of ground balls here, Dorn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to field that one, Alec. Jesus.
That's a little Dornish for me. Yeah, could have Bridges.
What's with this Olay bullshit?
Yeah. Jason could have Bridges. Pelotero.
Oh my God, Alec, that's terrible. Jesus, that's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
4-3. What happened, dude? Jesus.
He Olayed it, and not even Olayed.
He just had a terrible. Alec, they're not going to give him an error probably because I don't think he even touched it. He literally didn't even touch it. But that's
you guys got the wrong cat, man. You guys got the wrong cat. This is complexion talk. I'm not putting a lick of makeup on for what? For what?
Spells, he'd be all over that makeup chair, dude. Are you kidding me?
Watch this.
He'd have 3 cigarettes going. He'd have curlers in his fucking hand.
I might have the Lelands going in the makeup chair with no makeup coming. You understand me? Okay? Don't you think that I'm not a makeup guy.
It's something good for my skin. Is there like any balms around that are good for skin?
You know, start makeup gating me. All right, and I got phenomenal complexion. I thank my parents for that. Okay, now time's yours. Don't ever. I love to sit in the makeup chairs, have a great conversation with you, and Jimmy Leland it. But that's it. Don't put in no powder. I don't want nothing.
They don't give you a choice. They just smack your face with the powder, buddy. You got no choice.
Yeah, but we hire our own guys. We're not getting. First off, we're not going to ESPN. You know what I mean? We would take over ESPN, so it's a different. You know, so I don't got to worry about it. So we're going to hire our own makeup guys. And some kittens here want makeup. Good for them. You know what I mean? But don't think it won't be talked about on air. You come in looking like Timmy Lago or Wells. You know
I'm not a makeup guy.
All caked up.
Cake by the ocean.
Trying to get yourself a date. You know what I mean? That's all. Trying to get yourself a date.
Oh, I don't think I didn't see that shimmy shake. I love the shoulder shake.
Just trying to look for a little couple skate.
4-0 lead. I mean, come on, this can't happen again.
It's done already happening.
We ain't even at the bullpen yet.
Dude, have we had a lead in every game? We've got a lead in like every fucking game.
Every game.
Again, we're up 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's early, but I'd like to see Eflin get out of this fucking inning.
Yeah, Chris, we know. I mean, Chris talking about hockey, basketball. Yeah, tougher guys. I mean, that's well documented. Some guys on the basketball court are tough as nails, but, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to rip them for being banged up there either. You know what I mean? And I'll rip him for stinking in the series.
He slammed the stage.
I got bigger.
Yeah. We'll rip him for stinking and missing shots, but
I'd like to see him get back in there. Be honest with you,
I'm not against him getting back in there. I got bigger things to rip him about. That's all.
Oh yeah, well I'd like to see him make a shot as well or play defense. Yeah. Either one.
Talking about how he put on like 10 pounds of muscle this all season. He's gonna be a better defender. I could eat you up. You understand? I got no athletic ability, and I'll eat you up. because then once you get the back going, you know what I mean. Once you start backing him down, I can feel his softness happening.
No makeup. Now he's taking guys to the hole. You're incredible.
Wow.
There ain't no take to the hole. I'm talking about backing you down because
no, Chuck. A little Chuck.
Little Charles,
Little Chuck wagon.
He's got to turn around, Jay.
little 6.5er, just bumping him. I'm not saying he won't score on me every time. I'm just telling you I might get a bucket because I think he's a little soft.
He'll make 1 of 3.
Yeah, he won't make shots against me. He makes shots all the time in open gym. So I mean,
say you don't really have to guard him that much, Tommy. Just dare him to shoot it. Because hopefully he doesn't take you to the rack, because then he's gonna probably dunk on you.
well, no, just hope it's not it. He just can't. He can't make a shot off the dribble. I mean, from 3. I mean, there's no what I'm saying. There's 0 chance of that happening out of him. He's a spot up shooter. That's about it when it comes to the 3-point line. He ain't even good at that. So I mean, listen, he stunk all series. That was a guy we really were hanging our hat on to come out and said we needed to drop 25.
He had to be good. We knew Joe was going to be good. Tobias had to be good.
He played well in the
and he wasn't.
You know what I mean? Just somebody said playoff time, and he went, "Put me in water. Put me in water. I'm shrinking. Put me in. I'm wearing cotton. Put me
Shrinkage.
Shrink time.
The pool's cold. Pool's cold.
Water's not warm for Tobias.
I mean, that thing gets small. You know what I'm saying? It's like a stanza.
Turtlehead.
Stanza.
It was cold.
Rudy says, seeing this will probably be a short all season. How soon should the Sixers start cleaning house? Well, with Brett
Tomorrow.
they could have did it yesterday.
Now.
Yeah.
Pink slip Monday, Pootie. Pink slip Monday, brother.
About what was it? About 5 hours ago.
In the third quarter of the game.
Yeah.
Brett, come have a seat with me, Brett.
Second time being swept in the history of our franchise. That's fun.
We're gonna need you.
That would have been hysterical if Avs Elton is leaving early. He grabs Brett by the shoulder, like, just come walk with me.
If I'm Brett, I'd punch Elton in the face. But no, I mean,
I'd probably punch Richardson in the face for that accountability fucking line that he threw out there.
Yeah, that's a tough plane.
It's a tough line to throw out there when you stink. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Josh Richardson.
That was my point.
You're absolutely right.
See all the air quotes earlier? You remember all the air quotes?
Yeah, no, I saw. I didn't realize that Richardson said that after the game. I'm just saying that now. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They
wow.
hot
Hey, Josh. Hey, mirror talk. Hey, Jesus, Lord.
Yeah.
This guy goes out. Double guns.
You know what? He probably should have more accountability.
You didn't score till under 3 minutes left in the fourth today in a winner go home game, and your uncle accountability. I forgot you were playing during this series half the time, if not 90% of it, if not all of it. Okay.
Doris would have told you how great defense you played, but besides that, Jesus Christ,
and you didn't. But bigger than that. Okay, I'm not saying there is accountability here because I believe there isn't anyway. But you're the last guy that should be running around circling the accountability train today.
Yeah,
you should shut up, get your shit out, and just hopefully nobody sees you leave, right? So you don't get your ass traded. Like hopefully nobody sees you leave. That's the kind of how you want to get out of Dodge, out of this. Hey, nobody see me. Can't see me. Get out of here. Yeah, that's what you want.
He lives in a giant glass house. You might want to just walk around and not throw anything.
Yeah.
Walk around.
No sharp objects. Don't even move.
Brutal.
That's unreal. That's unreal. I can't believe he dropped the accountability line. John Richardson. That's unreal. That's absolutely unreal to me.
That's what terrible locker room guys do. You know what I mean?
If I'm Brett Brown, I'll punch that thing right in the face.
They wait till the exit interview, air quote. You know what I mean? And he didn't say anything after game 3, did he? No, it was game 4 after you got swept and after you were you played the size of a little action figure. You know what I mean? Then you want to take shots. You know what I mean? Like knock it off, dude. Like
we don't know. We don't know that.
Al Horford.
I officially hate him now. I'd be fine with him gone.
Greg, what'd you say?
Al Horford's wife is all over Twitter, just like going nuts about like the Sixers and stuff like that.
I'm done with her. You can shut her mouth, okay?
Al.
I got enough for her. She's run her mouth all year. Every time he stinks, it's somebody else's fault. He's stuck. Okay, I don't give a rat's ass who the coach.
Horford's sister.
I don't care. I don't care who the coach is. When you stink, you stink. He flat out stunk all year. I don't care. Maybe a coach changes. I doubt it. I think he just stinks at this point. Stinks.
I would like to think that had something to do with him not fitting in, because like you said, how do you fall off a cliff that quick? How do you fall off a cliff that quick?
Got old.
He got old that quick?
Maybe.
He got old that quick?
He can't make a shot, Wills. He made them shots all last year.
He made them a lot against
The same
us.
shots. The same shots. So you stink. My point is, forget about coaching scheme, all this shit. She needs to shut her mouth. She's been talking all year. Okay? First of all, you want to talk about accountability?
His sister was talking a bunch too.
Well, yeah, when he comes home, that holds some accountability. All right? Okay? Miss Tweet. All right? Hold some accountability when he comes home once in a while, because you're deflect city, which shows me why he's stunk so far this year, because no accountability is getting held to him from himself. I feel like the whole team doesn't have accountability. You can say Josh Richardson doesn't have accountability. Joel B doesn't have accountability. The most accountability we've seen is him say something to shake. Nobody has accountability. If I'm Joe, I'm throwing. I might have to throw something too. You know what I mean? Somebody say something about somebody when it becomes a train wreck. Somebody, as one of my leaders, say, start doing that stuff. We haven't seen that over how much time here. The only guy who tried it is no longer here. The only guy who wanted to try to hold people accountable isn't here because the coach didn't want to deal with him, supposedly. Okay.
It's his sister, sorry.
Yeah,
Same thing, though.
There you go.
Sister,
Yeah,
sister's
even
the one that's the jabberer.
Whatever.
Even worse.
She's a chatterer.
I don't care. Out there, I don't care. She's the cutest thing walking around. She needs to shut it down.
That cute.
Shut it down. Shut her down.
Cute. Fuck her.
Yeah, and Jay says Josh Richardson said it earlier this year as well. This is the second time he said Mr. Accountability.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I would stop talking.
I think it was after another bad performance too, from him personally, to where I think he went through this whole scenario again. Like, Josh, you're gonna say this, you might want to be good.
They should have probably just had me go to games, because he dropped 20. I went to 2 games this year. He dropped 29 and 36. Apparently, I'm the antidote here.
Yeah. We'll have to get you on the bench. We'll have to get you on the bench. You know, and you thought
listen, I'm cheap. I'm cheap, Tom.
You know what's funny?
They can afford me.
You know what's funny is we talked about what we got back for we got nothing for Jimmy. You know, that good swing, Alec, right there. But we're still gonna need you to make that play. But we talked about what we got back for Jimmy, and you know that's a guy that we essentially did get back in that deal. And I think we all thought he was a good player, like not great, nothing special, but all felt like he's a constant. You know, he's a good defender. He's aggressive.
We thought he could shoot a little bit. We were wrong about
a little bit. Like, I mean, is it the Gabe Kapler effect here that everybody comes here, their numbers go down? You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Ooh. So we're going to go with the coach right now, and we're going to see if things change. And if Al does play better next year, then guess what? Good, because we want him to. You know, but I think some of that has to do with you playing well too. Like, yeah, you might not be the greatest system for you, maybe not the best fit, but you're a pro's pro, bro. You've been around the league long enough. Okay, I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need a little more out of you. All right, you can't have 2 points in a game. You can't shoot twice, right? I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? You've been around the league long enough. You've been around long enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's kind of how I feel about Thibes as well. You know, I mean, he's just a little pup. I'm just saying. I mean, like, you're hoping that maybe he, can develop some kind of offensive game, something. He's got
to be a 3-and-D guy.
Can we get something offensively out of Thibes? You know what I mean? Going forward,
Dude, Sweet's favorite play. The pitcher just That's why you bunt.
Yeah, we Spiels, shut up, right? Because your little boy ain't doing that, and I don't want to hear nothing about it tonight. But your boy never wanted to lay one down the whole time. No, pal, shut up with that.
Who's his boy?
Gabe. Spiels. I don't know why Paris talking. Thomas Gabe better. No, stop. What is that? A real question?
What was it?
I don't even want to read it. And you can read it. You can read it for yourself here.
I can't see it.
Thomas Gabe Kapler better than Joe G. No.
They have the most blown games in the league. You know that, right? For whoever said that.
Chris,
the Giants, that is. Most blown leads.
I agree with you, Chris. I mean, it felt like the NBA was like, hey, this team decided to do something, and we don't like it. They lost all these games, and we're just going to send this fucking rat-faced bastard there, and we're just gonna let him destroy him from the inside out. I agree with you.
He did.
I agree, buddy.
And
I agree as well. The NBA hated that we lost on purpose. They hated it.
Absolutely.
And now everybody does
That's
it.
the only year, and that's the only year we got the #1 pick.
And guess what,
Only
Greg?
year.
Guess what, Greg?
And we butchered it.
Everyone loses on
No,
purpose now.
That was the Simmons pick.
Lock in.
That was the
Did
Simmons
you
pick.
say that? I couldn't hear. I didn't hear you.
Love to have you.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
fuck you.
well, I mean, glass house
that
talk.
pick.
Why don't you listen to other people sometimes? You would have not been late to the party there.
Well, it's because you cut Greg off. That's why I was hearing.
I didn't cut Greg off. You cut Greg off. I was talking before you. You're Captain Cutoff, and you're going to talk about cutoffs.
You've been cutting off all night. Don't you start? You came in hot. You came in hot, Mike. You're like Brenneman. Hot Mike, cutting people off.
There
all
was
night.
no hot mic Brenneman here. Okay, you got more Brenneman than anybody in the country. All right, Uncle Bren. You know, so calm down.
What did you say?
Said a lot of stuff. So go back and listen later. You can catch us on everywhere you get your podcast. Family, like, subscribe, follow.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
Share
Good
if you like it, share it.
Yeah, Don says I can see Joel on the JJ podcast spilling. What do you say? Spilling tea? Yeah, they'll be sipping tea. They'll be sipping tea together, just spilling the beans. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot of things said. I'm sure Jimmy will come on too. Love to have you do that too.
Doris Burke mentioned it on a broadcast, and she was saying the best year that Joel and Ben had together was 2018, and we saw that as a team, right? That was probably, of this current group, that was obviously probably their best team and their best run. And then as a group, and then they've declined together their production with, again, we've seen that with the team. You know what I mean? We've seen as why so many people were calling on Brett back in a couple years ago, because we've seen this decline. And that's not a shot on Joe and Ben. That's more of a shot on Brett. Like, hey, you're losing all these analytical things that they measure. You're losing this with your two best players who already people don't think can play together when they've proven that they can play together just a season or two ago. So, I mean, we got to switch that back up to get them to be at their peak performance.
Well, I think listen, for anything else, it starts with them both being on the damn court at the same time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I can't move forward.
Yeah, drink your milk. Drink your milk, boys.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it this offseason. Get on Anna. You know what I mean, Joe? I mean, you know.
Not sure that one's going to help the bones, but but have at it.
Go to Chick-fil-A, maybe. You know what I mean?
Maybe throw a glance of 2% in there as well.
I go for the hole. You know what I mean? Love that.
Don't go for the hole, Joe. You're already struggling on the court. We don't need to go for the hole.
Get a little heavy. Get a little heavy with the hole. Then we got to get him on the skim.
He's still.
Are we getting on the skim?
Listen,
Skim milk him?
I feel like he's not I wouldn't say he's out of shape because he's not out of shape.
His arms out of shape. I don't want to hear that.
I said he's not out of shape.
No, not like you.
I'd like to see him work his endurance up because he's tired on the court a lot and it's evident.
No, it is. You're right.
I'd like to see him work on his endurance. That's what I'd like to see him do.
You're spot on. We've been saying that, yelling out for years. So maybe accountability talk comes back full circle. You know what I mean? And that gets going, because I think a lot of it. Listen, at this level, you got to hold yourself accountable in the off season. You know what I mean? Brett isn't knocking on your door. This isn't college. Giving you a call. What you eating? Come on. So at that point, it becomes on the player. But on the court stuff, obviously, a lot of it to me is on the head coach right here and the players. So this isn't just a Brett Brown massacre. This is a massacre of what's on this roster, and then what's not on this roster, right? In terms of your other air quote star being hurt, and you're not going to win in this league without at least two, and you sure as hell ain't going to win with just one. And that's not an excuse to get swept and your door's blown off. It's just you're not going to win a title, not win a series. You're just not going to win a title with that. But you might not even win it with two. So I mean, you're just uphill sledding in this playoffs anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
But the time has come for the exit and the goodbye of Brett Brown. And when you hear great guy, like we talked about earlier, you're a great guy, love you, great friend, love to have you for Thanksgiving. Time's up.
Yeah.
So
No, you're right. I don't disagree with anything you said. Except for we'll see if the Raptors can buck what you said. You know what I mean? And they got a lot of work to do to get there. You know what I mean? But they would fall into that category, which would be very rare, like you said. All right.
The umpire's been.
They have one, but he's ready to take the next step. He's not a superstar.
no, I mean they have really good players.
Yeah, exactly.
And guess what they have? And you know this. I mean, they're the best defensive team in basketball. They got grit, and it starts with Kyle Lowry. It starts with one of your vets who's willing to get up in people, right? What does Jimmy Butler do? Gets up in people, right? It starts with your vets and your better players playing defense, right? And wanting to play defense. And that's a whole culture of wanting to be
great guards too.
Yeah, but it starts with your best player over the course of this, the course of them being good, which has been Kyle Lowry, willing to play defense. Say whatever we want about playoff Kyle Lowry or whatever. At the end of the day, the guy gets up in you and makes things difficult for you. And I think it all starts with some, what we're missing, what we were lacking is that dog, and then they're just, Siakam's a rising player, obviously, like you were saying. And then they got just a bunch of just gritty guys.
A bunch of good gritty guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really...
And they're well coached. Again.
Yeah, well coached. It was a combo. And you're always going to have them teams, you know what I mean, that are just really good like that because they got grittiness. And could use one of them here. Did that just happen? That's fun. That's fun.
Double play?
No, infield fly.
Go fly. I'm just rather you double play.
No, there was one out. There was one out. So you'd rather have JT.
No, I'm joking.
But I mean, if there was no outs, then you could have stole a run. Yeah.
No, I was just more pissed off at him.
Fucking takes the bat out of his hands with that first pitch called strike, though.
No, absolutely.
A foot outside. The ump's been brutal in this game.
ETP coming in. What does Lord say? 2017, 2018, the first year Simmons and Embiid played together. JJ Redick, Robert Covington, Dario, all shot above 36% from three. Well, you know why? The definition is spacing. This team got away from spacing. There's nobody who can hit shots. So, there's no guard play. And, say what we want about Rocco, and I hated him, and I was tired of him, but he can hit shots. Say what you want about JJ.
At least he looked for a shot, too. I mean, some of these guys are just so passive on the court. Josh Richardson doesn't look for a shot ever.
Every time Dario came on the court.
I didn't like Rocco one bit, but Rocco he never saw a shot he didn't like. Rocco pulled from the parking lot.
But Dario, a guy who came in and wanted to get his shots. You know what I mean?
I would try to get him back. I love me some Dario.
Listen, hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's total 2020. I'm just having fun with this when I say this. But, you just wonder if you would have kept that little group together, right? The JJs, the Cubs, the Darios, with Joe, with Ben, and gave that a second longer to see as they were all getting a little older together, right? It's hindsight's 2020. You're never gonna know. I'm just interested to see if they would have stayed together, if it would have ever worked. Because we were high on Dario, right? We all were, and then we all loved what JJ can do, And
Rocco plays good D. I mean, you got the Jimmy back. You got the D with Jimmy, but then Jimmy leaves. So
yeah,
So Rocco does play good D.
No, he definitely does.
Yeah.
So
and then you add Landry to that because then you don't have to trade Landry to go get, Tobias and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're right. 2020, it would have been interesting to see what would happen. But, yeah, when you look back at it, if you just would have kept your guys, probably roster looks a little better, a little deeper.
Yeah,
it's really better right now.
Even though it's not as top heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, 2020 is hindsight. But at least of those guys you mentioned, there's no kitten talk, right? Right now I feel like we're full of kittens. We got a whole litter of kittens. You know what I mean? Like you said, however you feel about Rocco, that's fine. You might not get it back from Rocco, but at least he put it up. Right? Some of these other guys are passing, they're eating their tails. They're eating get a lot of fur balls. A lot of fur balls on this roster. Right?
Tons of balls, tons of furries, and not real balls, like fur balls. There's no balls on this roster. I mean, it's the smallest stack in the NBA. Like literally, maybe the smallest sack in the NBA of what I witnessed in 4 games. Listen. Just add this. You should just put the Suns in. Just said, hey, Philly, go home. Take a walk. When Ben went down, we should have just packed the bags and said, hey, what are we even suiting up for? And then, what a name who didn't play this series, who forgot about, who didn't play it. I don't think he played all this series because he's banged up. Glenn Robinson didn't play either, right?
No, he didn't.
That's another perimeter guy who can at least.
If he did sparingly, yeah.
And he's not any. I'm not saying he's any good, but it's just another. You're not good enough at the perimeter. He would have been better than anything else you're running out there. That's how bad it was. Because at least he'll play defense. Is my point. He likes to play D. He's a defensive guy. Doesn't offensively, whatever. But he's at least a Pomsy guy. But that's it. I'm not making it. He's not going to change the series at all. But I'm just making a point. Like, you're without him too. You're without Ben. Now you're without two guys, perimeter defenders against a team that loves to score from the perimeter. Good luck. Good luck. Best of luck with college guys out there, essentially, and Shake Milton, Josh Richardson. I mean, that's not an NBA starting backcourt at all. It's not an NBA starting backcourt.
Bases loaded, no outs. That's
Speaking of NBA starting backcourt, Trey Burke guarded Landry Shamet today in the Mavs game. Just to start. Trey Burke started for the Mavs because Porzingis was out. And then he was ironically guarding Landry. So it was like, oh, stay hot.
Yeah. All our guys running around. Trey Burke isn't better than Raul Neto. That's all I'm saying. We need guards who can score. We have no guards who can score. If you're not going to play defense and he can't score, you're in trouble. So I need you to do at least one. I don't care if Trey Burke plays a lick of defense. Could he maybe give me 20? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no perimeter. I can't say it enough times. And it starts with the guy constructing the roster, and I just don't. I'll trust him. I mean, I'll give him more time if you guys think, if you think that's what's going to happen. But I'm willing to give him another run to see what he can do, see what he can make happen, see if he can learn from his sort of mistakes on how to construct the roster maybe. And I'm not saying the way he constructed it was wrong, because I think we all thought this was a good basketball team this year. You know what I mean? So, but I think the loss of J.J. Redick haunts us a lot, just as much as Jimmy. I think J.J. even haunts us more because we weren't the same basketball team because nobody could hit a three. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody could hit a three.
It goes down. It comes back to, like, if you're not going to play defense, then you can't have a defensive culture if you're not going to play defense. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, so there was no reason to let the dude walk. If he can, because we all knew he could score. We were just saying, like,
and play defense.
You can't play defense, and this is what Brett wants. We're going to play defense. And, the first couple weeks of the season, that's what we were doing. We were flying around, and then we just decided that we weren't going to play defense anymore. So it's like, hey, we could use that guy back that could probably give you 20 off the bench.
Right.
Nobody else is going to play D. We'll take you back. Come on back.
And that's hindsight.
Since we're letting up 120 a game anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, that's hindsight 2020 again out of me. But at the end of the day, I feel like we weren't nearly as good of a team offensively without JJ. And I think that helped Ben and Joe out tremendously having him. So I think that's a major thing you need to look for if you're Elton Brand this all season is a guy who can stroke a little bit, man. Like somebody out there who can.
Somebody's got to be able to hit an open shot for sure.
I just never seen it. I watch a lot of NBA games. I know you guys do. I just
guys
never
make shots all over the fucking leg.
All over the lick. I mean,
have you been seeing the scores? Holy shit. Guys making shots all over the leg. Not on our team, but every other team.
TTP, Horford is buying him 2.0. It's very likely we're stuck with that contract till he's 37. Yep.
Tom, go back to one of Lord's comments. He talks about GR3 if you can see it. Not far from where you are.
Kind of stinks anyway, so.
I'm not saying it ain't good, but no notes. Apparently, Brett Brown thought GR3 would have had been a difference in his maker. Yeah, I heard him say that, and then I realized he didn't play, and I said, "Oh, okay." I mean, I like GR3. I mean, I think he would have helped us.
Then I realized, does Brett know anything he's fucking talking about?
And I'm going to find that with GR3. We still get swept. We still get swept.
Was he hurt, or was that your decision? So
no, he was hurt.
I was going to say, what are we talking about, Brett?
No, but you still get swept.
Yeah,
don't change the sweep. You know what I mean? Not at all. So
you really shouldn't, though. You know what I mean? As much as we look at it like, yeah, it was inevitable that we were going to lose. You know what I mean? And I wasn't going to say that we were going to steal 2 or force us to game 7.
You can't.
You know what I mean? Nobody was saying that, but you can't get swept. Right? There's still enough talent on this team. There's still enough talent on this team to take 1. You know what I mean? So anybody that was like, "Oh, it was so easy to see that," like, get out of here, dude. Like,
yeah, shut up.
Guys are winning. The Magic took a game. I mean, there's
it's the second time in our franchise history we've been swept. You don't get swept. Come on now.
That boy Zach. That boy Zach. Battle.
You
Good
can't
job.
get swept.
Good
I'm right
inning,
with you.
Good inning, Zach.
You cannot get swept. You
No.
can't lose to a team. It's NBA, guys. Everyone's paid to play. Like, okay, Boston might have a little more talent than us. We can still outplay them. We're in the lead going to the fourth 2 times. Like, we got to close it out. That's on us.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That last night at the end of the game, that's an abomination.
COVID.
Right? That's an abomination. And then, today, like you said, we usually blow fourth quarter leads, you know what I mean? And then today was the opposite. We led by 1 at half and decided to get our doors blown off in the third. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 14-0 run. Great job.
Yeah. Took all
Great job, guys. Good work.
Took all the mystery away.
Yeah. We're like, oh, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Oh, we go into the fourth down 12. Okay, cool.
Yeah, listen.
We already stink in the fourth. Now we're down 12. This is go well.
You're playing your rival, right, in the playoffs. The last thing you can deal with is sweep there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
can.
got to compete. And I felt like we didn't compete enough, right? I didn't feel like we competed for 4 quarters. And I'm going to put that on my head coach. I'm going to put that on my star player.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, these are still NBA guys who get paid, like Will said, and somebody else needs to step up too. I mean, nobody else even scored a basketball this year, as I felt like. Nobody else. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, no. Ooh, I can't say it enough times. I don't know what they're going to do with this roster. Hopefully a new coach. People want to say, I got to get guys in better positions. I know, obviously, if Ben's healthy, it makes us better. So, I mean, I'm really just playing on Ben's development and Joe continuing to hopefully get better. And by better just means stay on the court. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Ben. At this point, I don't even give a shit about the 3. Just be on the damn court. Like, I don't even care about you shooting. Just be on the court. Because honestly, we need him. We need him. He's the first team all defensive guy. We need him. I mean, he slows Tatum down in this series. We don't win it, but he definitely slows Tatum down in this series big time. And we probably go 6 at least, or we go to a 7 because I think we're that close with him because of what he does defensively to Tatum. The numbers speak for it all year. He slowed him down. So that's it. They still beat us. They got who's covering Kemba? Who's covering Jalen? Because then if you're going to try to go, then you're going after him. Now Jalen Brown's probably going to get his. So they just find ways to take you out different ways. They outcoach us every time. It was a mirage that I can't think 3-1 versus them this year. That's a mirage. That's a lie.
They out-tough us too. Always.
That's not real. So the list goes on, and all this yelling is going to make me have a Jimmy. And
TTP, we don't disagree with you, buddy. We talked about it earlier. There's really nothing we can do. It's tough to force a guy to stay. You know what I mean? And then
we didn't really let him walk. He just
the other guy. You know what I mean? You had to in NBA standards. The way this monopoly money is going around. If not, then you traded Shamet, and there was you made that trade for nothing. You know what I mean? So it was just I think his hands were tied with Toby. As much as we might not agree with it, and we're with you, but
I was the first guy yelling and screaming from the rafters that you have to max him because you dealt Landry for him. You can't let him walk. So I mean, I was the first guy saying you had to do that. I was the guy saying that I liked
the non-protected first.
Yeah, and I was the guy that said I liked Al Horford, right? I mean, that I like the Al signing. I think I'm not going to run from that. But again, there wasn't any shooters put around here, and I think that was a concern of all of us a little bit. Is who's going to shoot the basketball, right? And it was like a Mike Scott, like what? You know what I mean? There wasn't really that guy, and it really was put a lot of pressure on Toby to have to be that guy. And honestly, we found out through this year on why he got dealt so many times.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Why he's always just a piece, not the piece.
I mean, he didn't have to be the piece. He could have been the third piece this year, and he still wasn't good enough. Like even if Ben's hitting shots, he's still not good enough to be your third piece. That's the problem. And we got screwed into having to max him, and we can thank Jimmy, not Leland. Baller.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Enjoy
Thanks,
South
Elton.
Beach. Thanks, bud.
Welcome to Miami.
Well,
Bienvenido a Miami. Party in the city where the heat is on the beach to the break of dawn.
Jay, I'm not saying we could. Nobody has a crystal ball here. We would have competed. Is all I'm saying. We were competing.
We probably win 2 games potentially.
I can't straight face the way we shot in this series say we beat anybody. So, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you, it might go 7. Might be a 7 piece. And then game 7, anything can happen. But I can't say we would beat them. but it definitely would help us.
I mean,
Ben definitely played well versus him this year. So
Tommy was definitely the guy that was Mr. Confidence. If we were at full strength, you know what I mean. So he's not going to run from that, and that's fine. It is what it is. I just didn't like the matchup. You know what I mean. That's we know we have to play everybody at some point. You know what I mean. But even if we were healthy, it just was one of those years. You know what I mean. Whether it was shut down or not. You know what I mean. It was just we absolutely underachieved all fucking season. After those first 5 games, it went completely fucking downhill. No reason we should be a fucking 6 seed with that fucking talent.
Absolutely joke.
You're 100% right.
Joke.
Ridiculous.
We put ourselves in that situation. We put ourselves in that situation by cruising through the regular season. And guess what? I understand, Joe, that you were looking ahead. And guess what I said about that? Okay. Oh, what did I say to you guys? Okay. Then when the playoffs come, you better drop 40 a night. Right? I mean, you better be the best guy on the court, clearly. Then. If you're saving it all for the postseason, right? This is what we were told. So he lied to me a little bit, too. Yep. Don't think I won't remember that. Don't think I remember that. So you better be engaged 82 next year. You better, because I don't want to hear about, blah, 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 blah. Last year hurt me. I just want to get back there and prove it. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah? Do you? Cool.
How about just making a play down the stretch of a game? I don't even care how many points you have. I need a big play in a tight game down the stretch and not turnovers.
Well, if I get that, I'm just making a point. Stars.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying in general, that's what I need from him. That's the one thing that we're missing from Joe so far is the killer big hits, big shots down the stretch of games to win games. We haven't gotten that from him.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier about both of them. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we love their talent. You know what I mean? They're just like top 25 guys. The narrative is being the top 20 guys right now or top 25 guys. You know what I mean? They're not, to me, in my eyes, and I'm just some fucking schmo. It doesn't matter what I say. They're not superstars yet. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, to your point, you know what I mean? You had one of those possessions last night. Did you absolutely shit in your socks? You go ahead and make a fucking play, and you you become a superstar. You're like, hey, after being outmanned or outgunned, or whatever, we found a way to win Game 3 because he went like this. I got this. All right, I turned in my superstar card. Here's my superstar card. Somebody punch it. All right, now I get 3 free hoagies from.
I agree. I just think what kills him in this series, and I think any series in this postseason, is that it being. And this isn't an excuse, so just hear me out on this, guys. Like, being such a guard-heavy league, where, like, you know what I mean, where guards score so much, when you're an inside guy, to not have anybody around you who can shoot. I mean, that's gotta affect us throughout the series, right? A little bit. Like, that's not an excuse for him. I'm just saying to you guys, like, that we need to get shooters around our big guy, don't we? I mean,
well, absolutely, we do. And obviously, you want them around Ben too.
Yeah, but any great big guy had shooters around them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's what made them great. I'm just saying it helps the process for him. Like, his best years were with JJ. So he had a guy around who can shoot. Like, there's nobody. And listen, you got to play better. I'm not taking away anything from bad possessions or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about the future on where we're trying to go here, is that we need to put shooters around these guys, right? Or Ben's got to shoot whatever, but Joe's got to have shooters around. As a big guy in this league, you need to help your best player out by helping his skill set out, right? And by helping his skill set out would be to do what? It's like basketball 101. I just can't believe that gets passed by this.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Like I said, it's just a guy that usually responds to, to chatter and guys going at him. You know what I mean? Inadvertently, I think Shaq was talking about him. You know what I mean? Like, Shaq was saying, like, listen, if I play nowadays, I get 60. I think he was looking at him directly in the eye. You know what I mean? Whether that was true or not. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of challenging him. Maybe he's challenging him.
And he's right, because no one bangs down low. And Joe doesn't do it nearly enough. Yep. He's probably the best in the league at it. Him or AD scoring down low on the block, but he is very good at it, but he doesn't do it enough.
I'll say one thing about the first 3 games of the series, because I didn't get to watch that. I only got to listen to it. I'll say one thing about the first 3 games of the series. I thought he did a good job banging down low more. I thought he was down low in the post way more in this series, and what we needed him to be, we're just not good enough, and he wasn't enough. And that's all it comes down to. I didn't think he did a bad job of being down low this series more. and trying at times to do things. But remember something. In game one, he started off 5 for 5 and sees average of 3 possessions a quarter from there on out. Right? Well, that's got to go to my head coach then to draw some plays up, right? I mean, I can't have 3 shots out of my best player with this roster to average of 3 shots a quarter over the next 3. Now, some of it has to do with him, right? I'm not taking anything. It's a combo here. But then I also need my coach to say, hey, we're going to run some plays to get him engaged then, if engaged is the issue. Because he started off 5 for 5. So he's obviously engaged. He's obviously ready to go, Brett. So then I need you to feed him. Now it's a feed city. Now it's feed fucking steady. It's feed city. It's not go away from your best player in game one. Are you kidding me?
If you notice that they haven't given the ball in a couple minutes, then you make sure the ball gets to him.
Hold on one sec. I should fire myself from this entire company for even giving this guy another year. You understand this? I should just get rid of myself. I should say I gotta go do laps or something, because for me to sit here to try to be glasses half full all the time with this freaking basketball team, and to give this guy give him one more. I'm the biggest players playing this league. Well, guess what? They do, but at the end of the day, you gotta be able to draw some things up, man. And I really started to pay attention to that more and more throughout the bubble restart and even this year, and everything everybody said was true. And the only reason I just deflected blame from Brett was because I expected my stars to be able to carry me to wins, right? And when that doesn't happen, now I'm going to start deflecting back to you and say, I'm starting with you now, because you started these puppies. You had them since they were babies, which means you can mold them into the player you want them to be, right? Hence Brad Stevens, right? You know what I mean? You can mold these guys into the player you want them to be when you get them at the puppy age, right? Right, guys? If you want toughness, you can mold some toughness. If you want accountability, you can mold some accountability. Well, guess what? Over your tenure of Ben and Joe, it's been excuse freaking city out of you too. So there's the door. And I'm taking accountability for even saying he deserved another year. Okay? But the 7 bounce shot was just like, damn it. We went to 7. You know, like, I guess he has to, right? I guess you got to run it back. It was hashtag run it back. Well, run it back, man, with the 4 guys. Run it back, man, with them 4. Run it back didn't mean with this shit. So who's that go to? Well, the coach didn't want him, supposedly. Or there was some conflict there. Well, guess what? Then the coach got to go. Right then and there.
And you were talking about plays earlier. Like, I feel like we never ran a play in the whole time he's been here. You know?
Yeah, 7 years.
I mean,
7 years ago, we're going on 7. Going on 7, I think. Without running.
I see a lot of masterpieces around the NBA after timeouts and just period. And I didn't see anything in this whole tenure. I mean,
I did. You know how many? You know how many I seen? Good inbounds plays, whatever, just plays. Period. Maybe one. And that might be generous. It could be generous. Could be a generous one, just trying to throw the guy a bone on the way out.
Yeah. That probably. No, you're right. You're right. It was definitely one. It was the Corkmods game winner that he drew up.
Yeah.
in a corner. There we go.
Well, now I see why. Listen, it's just and the one guy that you needed to develop into that guy, which what Brett said, I think he's developing into that guy before the year started, and that's the reason you could let JJ walk, was Korkmaz, right? Well, guess what? That's another guy you've had forever. So how good of a player development guy are you? I'm just asking for a friend, because you've had all these guys forever. I mean, the young guys. Now your roster got shaken up again, whatever. But the stars you've had, if you didn't mold them into dogs by now, I need another voice that's going to dog them. I mean, just I'd like to,
You're right. I mean, it's been from pillar to post, from upstairs to downstairs. You know what I mean? It's just like around every corner. I feel like we're whiffing. You know what I mean? There's obviously the Ben and Joe, we get that, but everything else I feel like we whiffed on. You know what I mean? Like even foreign guys, like we can't even get a foreign guy right. You know what I mean?
With Dominicans, like the Phillies with Dominican players or Latin American players, like the whole rest of the league has them. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the farm system, and it's like the Phillies just can't ever get it right. They'll pick the wrong guy. And it's the same. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. You're right. We can't even hit on a guy from like Italy who just strokes. You know, like one guy. First found 42 guys from Italy that can stroke and from France. You know what I mean? And we can't find one guy.
You know,
Like, not one.
Bellinelli.
I thought the whole reason Brett was hired here was because he was supposedly like part of the picks there. Part of their plan over there. You learn nothing from Pop because Pop gets up in asses. So you didn't learn nothing. Pop was going to tell you the way it is. Back in the day, he told you the way it is. He didn't just start telling you the way it is. That's been the way his style from day one.
No, absolutely.
Like I always look at like when anytime you get a coach, even kids for a long period of time, right? You can mold some in that buying into that mindset of toughness, right? You can do that. It's the same thing when you're getting guys as rookies in the pros. It's your job to develop them. It's your job to figure out what gets them going, right? That's your job. Your job to figure out what gets them to tick.
And that's where when you're part of that tree, there's a reason why you're either part of the tree and you're not the tree. You know what I mean? Because a guy like Pop,
Goddamn leaf.
a guy like Pop gets Tim Duncan, his best player, to not only buy in, but to be the hardest worker, right? The guy that's on time, the guy that's a great leader. You know what I mean? That Brett hasn't done that or couldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nothing that was like advertised. And then you had it for 8 years, right? 8 years, all these picks. Obviously, after year, let's say 2 or 3, he's obviously involved big time in the picks, right? He's obviously got his hands on free agency, right? So, I mean, through this whole process, he's had to have. I mean, is it fair for him that he's had to go through 3 GMs? No. That's a badly run organization. That's what that is. So that starts with Joshua Harris. But, I mean, how great of a guy is he? I mean, 3 GMs said, yeah, we'll keep you. Well, 2 of them. Hey, you're our guy. It's a joke. It's just a joke. You can't make up this shit with this basketball team. I sat through winless for goddamn Wiggins, who thank God we didn't get for this crap. That's
what Chris Dunn said in YouTube. How many years we spent just patiently waiting for this?
For this. We sat around through, like, thank God. I mean, we thought we dogged Joe a little bit. We had Wiggins. We would have been. I mean, we would have been chewing. We wouldn't have been dogging. We would have been chewing up. Here. We would have been chewing up. So, like you guys were right earlier, Sweeps and Wells, and everybody's right about it when they say it. Like BC came in and was almost like purposely here to screw us up. Now, the only thing, he messed up on the Fultz pick, but I overall didn't think. I think he kept things pretty status quo for the most part, even though he got nothing back for Oak, like nothing back for none of them guys he got anything back for, which is fun. None of them guys can play, but he's got nothing in return. Besides that, he just stayed status quo almost on like purpose, like we weren't allowed to win. You know what I mean? And then Elton came in and it was like, well, now there's like this rush to win, which was fine. I'm all good for going all in, babe. But once you go all in, you got to do what Ruben Amaro did then, and you got to sign guys, even though it might hurt you down the road, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it might kill you in 2 years, but you tied your cart to this thing, so then you got to own it. Sweep was talking about that earlier too. Like, now you got to own that shit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Spidey,
what up, Spidey?
Spidey doing a little cooking today. I see you, Spidey. Burning omelets.
Chris, I don't believe that, man. Like I don't believe that. I just don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't think he's looked fatter. He actually looks thinner to me. I just like I said earlier, I just want him to work on his endurance because he does look tired out there. And we need him just to work on his endurance. To me, that's the only thing that's holding him back right now. And I think if you get a new coach in that maybe runs some plays down the stretch, because like we said, we haven't seen him with like big plays down the stretch is what we want to see out of him. And maybe that's on the coach, maybe get a guy in here that can run some plays for him and we'll have a different outcome.
No, you're right. And that goes for anybody in the 4 majors or anything else you do, right? Sports specific training and working out is different than just either riding a bike or, maybe working on your nutrition or running around the block. That's fine. Like you got to get up, you got to do some suicides. You got to get up and down the court, man. That's your craft. You know what I mean? That's where your money's made. You know what I mean? Not just, running around, staying in shape or whatever he was doing. I don't know his plan. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I need you in the gym, getting back and forth. Working on your shuffles, working on your, all kinds of. Basketball stuff. I don't know.
I want you running for 2 hours and then shooting foul shots.
Yeah, I feel
and
like
then catching balls in the paint and making moves, and then running for another hour and then doing it again.
Yeah, I don't need
you got to be able to do that when you're tired, because that's when we need you. It's down the stretch when you're tired and overcoming.
Yeah, I don't need your beach body. I need you in basketball shape. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson is wearing us out.
Who doesn't win?
Roman's in for Adam. Adam can't hit lefties.
Yeah, that's fun. Roman
can.
Lord says the tempo fluidity of the game changed from that point on. And again, Joel's turnovers cost us in the one real chance we had to turn this series around. You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. I
mean, the first part of that comment was, I think it was the 5-for-5 start. He said Van Gundy mentioned it also. He missed the mid-range 2 threes, or mid-range and 2 threes. He said that's laziness. Pat Rowell, he would have said get to the block. And then this one is the follow-up to that.
Yeah. No, he's
absolutely right.
Yeah. I'm okay you shooting the 3 if you start 5-for-5 in the paint. I'm okay with you checking your hand to the 3, but I don't need you shooting 2 of them, especially if you miss the first one.
I just think like most big men his size, you're going to make the case for times look like they're out of shape too. You know what I mean? Not saying he doesn't need to get in better shape. I'm not debating that. You know what I mean? Because I see that too. I see times he looks really tired. So you need to get in better basketball shape at times. And that might be part of your turnover issue down the stretch, right? Is when you get tired, you lack the mental side of it, right?
Yeah.
And move faster. So, a spade's a spade there, I guess, right? Because that's always been an issue. I just think that a lot of big men are gonna look tired at times, like his size. But I can't run from the fact when a lot of turnovers to me comes tiredness.
Yeah.
So, at some point, I agree with you guys. Now you actually put the extra in now, right? Put the extra in now, and in late in games, you're not going to have them bad turnovers because your body's going to be better, ready more for a marathon, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I can't disagree with that. So that's all. I can't disagree with that at all. That he doesn't need to do a better job. Do I think he's like completely out of shape, like some people were talking about in the chat? No.
I don't agree with that either, Tom. I don't think he's completely out of shape at all.
There's a fine line here too. Everything in context, right? Like he definitely needs to do a better job. I can't disagree with that. But I don't think he's like the fattest guy around. Christ.
No.
Like these guys are saying.
Yeah, no. Like we already said, and B Black 336 is bringing it up too. It's about the endurance right now. We just need him to not look so sluggish on the court, because gets late. It gets you get him in there 6-7 minutes into when he's out for the before he takes the rest on the bench. He looks sluggish. He just does.
So, it does. That's what I was going to say. So whether it's factual or not, it's optics.
Yeah,
right? You know
absolutely.
What I mean? So it's not a good look. You know what I mean? Not a good look.
Absolutely, Sweeps.
All we got is perception, boys.
Yeah, he can tell us he's not tired, but you fucking look tired, dude, and everybody can see it. So I'm just, you know what I mean? And that is when he has his turnovers too. You're spot on about that, Tom.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not. You know how I feel about the guy, okay? And just because I feel a certain way about him, and I believe he can be what I've always expected him to be when we drafted him, right? And but I also don't. I'm also at the point now at age where some things now I can't make an excuse for, right? I'm allowed to baby you a little early on and have a couple excuses for you, A, B, C, and D. But now when you're coming up 26 years old, them excuses start to go away now, right? And now it's about, it's about you being the player that I expected you to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to. So that's where I stand on it, that, as much as I love the guy, I'm also going to try to keep it real when I see things that are are definitely question marks. And perception is all we have. Perception is reality. And what I've always known about basketball, turnovers equal a lack of discipline or fatigue. So I'm going to go that he's a pretty disciplined player at this point of his career, more so than he was early on. Early on, he was like a dog on a hardwood floor sometimes, but now he's not. Now he's really not for the most part. But guess when he gets like that sometimes, Greg, he gets like that at the end of games sometimes. He's not like that early on in games when he's fresh. He gets like that at the end. So that's where I got to run and say, to your guys' point, hey, how about 10 more now? Right, whatever reps you're doing.
Yeah, that's the mental side. Then he's got to be.
That's got to be Pippen. That's the last dance. That's Pippen Jordan bulking up for the Pistons, baby. That's the bench press happening in the all season. Give me 10 extra.
You got to be more mentally tough. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And so not being in there, we don't know what kind of practices are being run. I have no idea, but I mean, it's 101. I mean, we've done it since we were little kids. Like, you know, whether you're playing junior high or not, you know what I mean? Like you run at the end and then you go to the foul line. You know what I mean? That's, and I mean, I don't know, like you said, like, you know, bringing in like being a player's coach or whatever. I don't know what kind of practices are. So I'm not going to sit here and say that's not happening. I don't know that, but maybe a former player at the helm, you know, can put that stuff in and then guys will buy in and say, okay, you know what I mean? This is, you know what I mean? Like, and you won't have a repeat of, we're talking about practice and practice here.
Practice.
You know? We're talking about practice. Well, we know that guy played hard. We know that guy played hard all the time.
Not the game.
You know what I mean? But
no, you're right. I mean,
can a former guy bring that to the table? Or listen, you know, we got to do such and such at the end of every practice. You know, we're running 10. You know, we're getting up and down the court 20 times, and then we're going to go shoot free throws. You know what I mean? And we're not leaving until somebody hits 8 out of 10 or something. I don't know.
Yep, you're right. B. Black's right too. I mean, he's got to play like a franchise player. What other excuses can we really make?
Absolutely.
I can't come from it anymore.
Absolutely.
Like when you start to creep up on your prime years, which is right now to me with him, right? You got to be dominant. You got to be. He's not Shaquille O'Neal, but you understand the reference. You got to be that dominant where your presence is felt, and
especially against a team where like the Celtics, where they don't have anyone that can guard you. You have to take over. That's our team.
And especially when you call out yourself and saying that you are the most dominant big man in the NBA. You got to prove it.
Yeah. And touches come with that. And guess what? You've seen definitely some like still shots of him getting like quadruple teamed and them doing a good job of that side of it, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And because nobody's going to make a shot, so they're going to force somebody else to beat you. And that's what Brad Stevens' adjustments beat us again. Where where was our adjustment back? One, I don't think there was an adjustment that could come back because nobody can shoot. So, you know, I don't know.
AJ's not here anymore.
Yeah, like Brett's got to go, but I don't know what else I could do in this series. Like, I don't know what else I could do besides throw a chair on the court, you know, maybe spear a ref. There's really nothing left, you know, or take Tatum's legs out. Like, I don't know, like Tanya Harding, Tatum. There's nothing left you can do, really, you know, in this series because you're that outnumbered besides people stepping the hell up and nobody stepped up.
Yeah.
Period. Nobody.
Talked about it early on. You know what I mean? You want to be a superstar, you got to play like a superstar. That's it. So, I mean, we don't have to, you know, keep going into it. You know, we said it. All right, guys, you got to do it. Eventually, you got to get it done. You know what I mean? I understand there's other variables that go into things, and, you know, injuries happen to every team. Right? Injuries happen. Adversity happens in sports and in life, right? Can you push through it, and can you persevere, and can you be that guy, that leader, that superstar that this city needs? I don't know. Yeah, the book's still wide open. The book's still wide open, boys.
Yep. Nothing's ever gonna be easy. Nothing's ever gonna come easy. It's about when your back's against the wall, how are you gonna come out and play? How are you gonna perform? And that's what we're missing right now, Karen.
And I look at the number 1 overall pick of the draft, and I'll hold him accountable to the same standards too.
Oh, I totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like that was the number 1 pick of the draft too. That we talk about generational. I mean, that's got to be a franchise changer. Not saying he isn't when he's on the court, but I need you on the court, babe. And yeah, you can beat that all day. Phil's, let's segue to Phil's real quick. And you know, obviously,
I'm running out of bat over here.
Yeah, the Flyers and Islanders. You know, they play tomorrow night, boys. So let's go. Going to need Carter Hart to continue to stand on his head and his team play behind him. I believe in this hockey team, and I believe in this young goaltender. So I'm excited for tomorrow night. We'll get Crumb in a week in a second, but Phil's Braves up 5-3, and you want to say a must win. I mean, it's that simple.
We just got to win games. So, yeah, absolutely.
Must win. So somebody's got to come out of this pen tonight and be able to get outs.
Bryce didn't see the ball well tonight, so
no, and that's going to happen. The guy's on fire. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm saying hopefully we can have some other guys get some more big hits here and hold.
That's a bad swing.
This lead.
Yeah, they all in 60 games they all mattered, and now you're a third of the way through. So everything gets ramped up and magnified even more, even 10 times more than it did, a week and a half ago.
Yep. Absolutely.
So as much as we can't stand Klentak, at least he tried to do something yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there, so trying at least.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. And that was
all we asked was for some MLB relievers, right? Like we can't have it all. We can't have everything we want all the time, right? All we asked for was, hey, can you get us some guys who actually pitched in the league in the back end of a bullpen in some fashion? Like, even if they're just average guys, can you just switch it up, change it up? It's not working. Wherever you came in with, it isn't working. So now it's got to be a change up. I don't give a shit who you bring in. If you call guys up or you go make some moves for some guys.
And it goes to show you how fragile. I mean, this sport's 90% mental, and you just go to see how certain things early on, what happens, can destroy guys. You know what I mean? Like Neris is now considered being horseshit, but if they catch the pop up. If they catch the ball the other day, there's 2 good outings for Neris, and he's not. Then all of a sudden, your mental psyche isn't like you're not shaking anymore. I'm not saying as a pro he should. You know what I mean? Like don't be a mental midget. Wipe it clean. We tell our kids all the time, hey, wipe it clean and live in the next pitch, right? But it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? And there's 2 games right there that you can't get back where that guy he did walk the leadoff guy in that Orioles game, but still you catch a pop up, you're out of that. You know what I mean? So
yep.
Absolutely, and
dead on.
But guess what? That's been his whole MO though. Is he has a fragile psyche, which is scary. So now if that goes south here for us,
you can't have that on the back end.
And he just keeps walking people to start. Every time he comes in, he walks the first fucking guy. Come on, Hector, I need you to throw strikes, dude.
But you know what?
Have to throw strikes.
From this year to last year, just in terms of our lineup, right? Is that now you start to see guys hit. And you're going to see guys even though it's 60 games, sort of their numbers are going to equal what their numbers would be over 162 because we actually have a real GM in here. Now, the biggest issue for him, and I think the hardest thing for Joe, and I'm not making an excuse for him, I think it's a lot around the league. Now, you can't have the worst in baseball, but a lot around the league is when you can't even finish all spring training to sort of finish off that back end and you don't have a lot of names to choose from anyway, I think it makes it tough to really get a feel for your guys too. And plus, I don't think everybody he brought in, no matter who it was giving up a run. Like the first reliever in was giving up a run no matter who it was for the longest time. That's not even his, that can't even be on him. He's switching it up. He's trying every one of these. And everybody comes in, gives up a run. I mean, at some point, you got to do what Matt Klentak finally did here. It's just try to go change it up a little bit. So I can't crush him for being aggressive-ish, but you got to try everything in your power to help out what we believe is a really good offense and a starting rotation that's good enough. They're good enough. They're good enough to be one of the 8 teams. I mean, my home. They're good.
I agree, Tom. I agree.
We probably had 2 wins on the coconut. Probably have 2 wins under the oil.
Yeah,
time to hear that crap. Oh.
But, it's one thing if you go in the bullpen and you're trying to look for cheap options and you go young at 1 or 2 spots. You can't go young your entire bullpen and expect it to work out. You know what I mean? Usually that's what you get those veterans that we now have centered around some of these young kids so there's not so much pressure on them to succeed as opposed to the way we did it where we threw every young kid in there that we don't know that they can or can't do it. And we obviously learned that they can't do it. And now it looks like a complete dumpster fire, which it is.
Yeah, a little better now. I mean, a little stronger, you would think, just with the additions brought in. I mean, nothing to run the broad over, but just a little bit stronger. But it's not hard to get stronger when you're worse in the league. So
not a good first outing from Workman, but he is a guy that's been around and has been a solid reliever. So
absolutely,
hopefully,
Tara, I love you, but I'm not in the mood for the I told you so's right now. You know what I mean? I am far from in the mood after getting swept by a team I hate to be in the mood for. Well, I told you, Brad. I know. What did I say? What did I say since the beginning of this year and after the 7 bounces? Right at the end of this year, if he gets give him one more year at the end of it, if he doesn't accomplish what I need them to accomplish, he goes. I never ran from that. I never once ran from that throughout a whole damn freaking year. And now I told you. I didn't run from the whole thing the whole year. I'm on your wagon, or I'm really on your freaking the Brett Fire guy's shoulders now. Like I can't give you all enough credit for being right. God, because I want to be wrong. Because I want to root for damn failure. Nobody wants to root for failure. I want to root. I'm a fan. These journalists in the city can kiss my ass, telling me they're not fans. I'm a fan, so I want to win. So I'm going to look glass half full as many times as I goddamn can. Hence why Sam Bradford and Darren Sproles had me on broad one time. All right, and Chip Kelly. So shut up.
I was riding shotgun.
Yeah,
I was riding shotgun.
All right. I mean, listen, I understand. That's great rant. I mean, but just look at the end. That's the key of the statement right there. Like nobody's getting fired in the beginning of the bubble. So I mean, like if you didn't want him here, or if you were yelling from the mountaintops, that's fine. But like, I mean, let's talk about reality here. Like nobody was getting let go. Prior to the bubble. I mean, you'd have
a lot of talk.
You have to punch somebody. You'd have to commit some kind of heinous crime and punch somebody in the face or something. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to be. Yeah, it wasn't going to be. The fact that we were horseshit and we were the 6th seed. I mean, I guess it could have happened, but it would have just happened. When the shutdown happened, it wouldn't have happened right before.
Yeah, I just had a lot of told you so's recently on the blog.
We weren't going to wait till the restart to say, hey, let's hire a new guy. We would have. Guess did it in March, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just had a lot of told you so's, and I'm just on the book, and I'm tired of the told you because I never said that he didn't deserve to go after this year if we didn't go to an Eastern Conference Final or more, right? I've been pretty strong on that, so I mean, take it for what it is. I've been wrong plenty of times. It ain't going to start with Brett Brown, but I also have been saying for years the players play too. These players stink, and he don't help it. That's all. They stink, and he don't help it. So, time's up.
He's definitely not a stink whisperer. That's for sure.
Nope. This guy can't smell his own shit.
Not at least when there's expectations, right?
Yeah, of course.
When they were sucking and tanking, he got a little bit out of some of the guys.
Will's reaction. This is not good.
When he throw it away. Oh, catch the ball!
Please.
Catch the ball!
Please! Will, no ice cream after this game. I don't care that he homered.
He's got to catch that one. It wasn't even that tough of a pick.
Sorry, Dad.
No,
sure. He actually
no ice cream after this game.
Sorry, Dad. Sure, that was killing you.
Sorry, Dad, me?
Yeah, I'm sure that's killing you.
God, just catch the ball, Reese.
Well, pick. Appreciate you tuning in, bro.
Yep. Surprised you nerds got away from it. Surprised you nerds.
Can I hop in and do my crumb of the week? Only because I'm probably going to.
We're doing it right now anyway. We're there.
Right, cool. Also, want to say I'm going to pick the Flyers in 7. I think it's going to be a really tough series. Jesus Christ, boom! It's going to be a really tough series.
Yeah, we want you out because you're ahead. Oh,
how am I ahead?
Oh my! I can't. But I'm done.
I got the Flyers in 7. I think it's going to be a really tough series. I think it's going to be a really good series, and hopefully they can get through it because the Islanders are going to be tough. And for my crumb of the week, crumb of the week is NBC. And it's Mike Milbury firing or forcing him out over. He said that there's not even any women to distract them about the NHL bubble, and it's the most. I just don't understand how it can possibly. Who's upset by this? Really, women, are we really this bad that that's upsetting? If anything, it's the fucking truth. Are we not aware that 22-year-old hockey players, when they're not on the ice or practicing for hockey, they're running around looking for pussy? Are we unaware of this? Is everyone unaware of this? Because I think everyone should know it. It's fucking fact. Puck sluts. They even have a fucking term. Puck sluts. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, NBC? If I was Milbury, I can't wait to sue NBC.
PSers? A PSer?
Oh, PSers. Fucking dude. That to me, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that's where we are really. in this cancel culture of a fucking society. So to me, my crumb of the week is NBC. Fucking awful.
And of all the other crappy things and shitty things that Milbury said, he gets fired for this one.
Exactly.
None of the other terrible takes he's had or anything like that. It's this one.
Like almost
where
like
it's actually truth.
Like they were waiting for something. Like, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Waiting for any.
This one won't cause any backlash.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that was absolutely that's a joke. It's terrible.
It's a joke.
Absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? It goes for anything. I mean, it's, obviously you can now concentrate on your profession. You know what I mean?
Don says, Wilson.
No chance.
Wilson's gonna get
No chance, Don.
A2D. Huh?
I was here for creation.
Oh, easy, Dad.
You easy, Dad.
Came into the show after he was already here for a year. So I mean, I don't know if that's creation. That's.
I mean, I feel like we made up the name together. I feel like I remember the car ride.
You weren't even on the show originally.
I'm just saying, I remember the car ride when you were talking about doing this.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go to Connecticut School Broadcasting.
Did
Remember the rock?
You made up the name.
Oh, listen. You can try to deflect this all you want.
A2D
You know that we made up the name.
A2D was not made up by you. Would you stop it? Are you
a
kidding?
liar?
Like
I made it up at the school. Ask anybody. Ask Matt.
That's a liar.
Ask them. Ask around.
All we used to do was drive around and argue sports, and we said, that'd be a good agree, disagree. Would be a good name.
Hey, where you listen matters. This is interesting. I'm learning stuff.
That's a long time ago.
Lies and propaganda. This is lies and propaganda. Is what they lies. It's like China. He's like China. It's lies and propaganda. You know what I mean? That's who he is. He's full of lies.
100% true.
I'm taking notes here. This is amazing.
Wait,
Tom might need some notes.
Please start scribbling, guys. Please start
Scribble.
scribble. Uncle Scribs.
DJ Scribs.
Here's Hembry. We're in the bullpen.
Giddy up.
Uh-oh.
Greg sweeps. Crumb of the week.
Yeah, there's plenty, but I'll go back because it was probably like 2 weeks ago. I meant to do them last week, and we're not going to get into the whole thing. But to me, it's I want to go back to Clevelander and Plesac, just for the fact that listen, you see that it's happening around, it's happening to other teams, right? But let's just pretend that that's not happening it didn't happen to other teams. You got a guy in your locker room that's compromised, right? That's coming back from leukemia, right? This is a guy that you go to war with, in the foxhole with. I mean, so you can be on any side you want to believe. I know you might be going stir crazy. I get that, right? But this is a guy. This is your teammate, man. This is and just sneak around about it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to say, hey, listen, we need to go out there. I need to do something. You know what I mean? But to sneak around, Clevenger snuck back on the plane. Plesac got caught sneaking back in, so he got sent home. He got smacked on the nose like a newspaper. Clevenger went on the plane with these guys live, and it's just dirty pull out of those two guys. And Cleveland's playing better without them, so good for them.
Absolutely, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, it's big.
Sorry.
It's a good one. No, it's just where we're at right now in the baseball game. The Phillies bullpen. I mean, it's atrocious. When you have your last eight losses, when you've had the lead in 7 of them for more than 1 run, and you lost 8 all of them, that's atrocious.
Yeah,
and and hopefully we started making those turns to hopefully shore that up. But up until even last night. Even I know it's an impossible situation for him, right? First time here, first time with the team, inserts in to clean up Hector Neris's mess. But hey, we didn't get it done last night either. So, it's the Phillies bullpen.
That was a good job right there.
Yep.
Hopefully they heard you.
No, absolutely.
That was a good job.
Yeah,
it was. Absolutely.
Need outs. Outs are fun.
And Don, there's a reason Luka went first in the A2D draft, so. I don't know. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I think he's going to make it.
Yep. He's decent.
He's not bad.
Yeah, Tom, sorry.
Huge shot tonight, by the way. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's seen it now, but yeah, huge. Monster shot.
Yeah. And we just talked about that for a while on what we needed from the other end, on our end over here.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
There really is. There's a lot for once. Yeah. Listen. I'm gonna stick. I was gonna go where Greg was going, but he
Take Montrezl Harrell.
So, yeah, I mean, I can go Montrezl Harrell, a guy I really like a lot. That's a good one to get in here before we get out. You know what I mean? To make that statement, is that okay? Like, that's not okay. And the apology, cool. I mean, the apology, fine. If Luka accepts it, that's on Luka. I'm just speaking that I don't really give a rat's ass what you say. But at the end of the day, that's not okay. I thought that's not the direction we're trying to go to as a society. That's just what I've been being seen, right? Being told. And that's something I believe in that. I never thought the society should ever be there. All right. There's trash talk that goes on the basketball court. Absolutely. All right. Big fan of guys running gums on the court. All right. Big fan. Okay. But there's certain things you just don't say. All right. And I understand the competitiveness gets involved, and sometimes you might say something stupid. So respect the apology. But if that was, say, a different scenario, I'll say that. If that was a different scenario, Twitter would have been on fire last night. That's all. That's all. And I thought that's the direction we want to go as a society. I thought it was everybody equal right now. Right? We're all in this shit together. We've all dealt with a lot more shit than the extra. Right? And anybody with a freaking clue, and anybody I surround myself with, aren't the scumbags that people, aren't the scumbags, aren't the issues. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that like stuff doesn't exist still, but not by my circle. So, that's why I think we just need to not be double standard with anything, right? Because anybody else is getting fined or even teed up for that. That's all. I don't really care that much about it, but I care more about how it would have went the other way, which neither way is the way we're trying to go. That's all. Neither way. And if anybody's cool with either way, okay, that's fine. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're cool with either way, one side's okay, one side's not. That's probably not somebody I want to surround myself with. We don't change shit that way. So, time's the people's. Boys, been fun. Hell of a show.
Great work, gentlemen.
Heavily.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the tea work there at the end. You know what I mean? Appreciate the tea. Appreciate you getting the ball on there for me, because going
cone or a T?
Huh?
Traffic cone or a T?
Yeah. The real thing.
They call me Lucy.
Real thing.
They call me Lucy every once in a while.
I love you, brother. You know this. I just like yelling at you. Lord, Paltero, Don.
Yep.
Right,
Everybody.
Jay chiming in, John Lynch,
Coming in.
everybody. I mean, I could go on Anthony Adis,
Spells, Rips.
Bells.
Islanders are really tough.
Yeah,
I'll go Fly Guys in 6 because Willie went 7, but Islanders are really, really, really
Yeah,
good.
they're tough. They're tough.
Really?
The Flyers are good too. So I mean, it's going to be a good series.
I think we have
yeah.
the goaltending edge, and that's what I'm going to give us the slight edge.
I'll go 5 just to get cute, since I don't want to go anything you guys went. So Greg's got to go 4 now with the sweep.
Five would be real cute. That'd be awesome.
Well, guess what? Five's got me. Five's got me starting to work my way down with my tent, going you know where, Wilf. Five's got me walking. I'm gonna start. I got $2.50. I'm looking for the other $2.50, if you know what I mean. We're going to get walking. If Greg goes, if we sweep, I'm just going to go camp out. You know what I mean? I'll get the 5. We'll just go camp out. Somebody
tell this guy he doesn't have to hit it from there. Take the damn drop.
This idiot, this moron from West Texas.
You don't have to walk across. Get in your car.
Yeah.
That's great.
Guys enjoyed it. Guys enjoy the leg work. You know what I mean? Better than Joe.
Appreciate it, Don. Thanks, everybody tuning in. Good stuff.
Joe should walk the damn bridge every time he has to go to the practice facility. That's a story for another day.
Pink slip Monday. Expect to wake up and
Pink Slip Monday.
and have no head coach, so that's fine.
Radio for the roast of Brett Brown tomorrow because that's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. For Tom Arnone, Greg Milakovic, Nick DelGozzo, Brian Wilson. I love all you guys out there.
Shows all week.
Shows every goddamn day here. Turn the alerts on. Turn the reminders on. You can get everything on all social platforms. You just go ring the bell, if you know what I mean. Phillies need to ring it right now. Phillies need to ring it right now. So let's go. Thanks, our doc. You got to make them yours. You know this already. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Give them a call. Or just go, right on the web. Specialized
Stop
Physical
down.
Therapy.
Stop by.
Say hello. Stop in. Love to have you. Mask up. Walk in and say hello to the doc.
Any kind of pain, aches and pains. Stop on it.
Stop
Gavin. Wilson's phone didn't die before the end of the show. That's a first.
Fucking hey. It's gotta be like 1 or 2% too. It's touch and go at the moment. It's touch and go.
We're watching Cliffhanger here. All right, boys. Great show, fam. Like I already said to you. Like, subscribe, follow. We love you. And Phils need you.
Need ya.
Big one. Carter Hart standing on his head. Greg said in 4. We out.
Need 9 outs. Later.